Success is not something that happens by chance or overnight. It comes from the daily habits we build and the choices we make every single day. If you want to change your life, improve your focus, and grow stronger in mind and spirit, it starts with what you do regularly. This isn't about quick fixes or lucky breaks. It's about small actions repeated with purpose that add up to real change. In this guide, you will discover practical habits that ultra-successful people use to stay sharp, disciplined, and steady no matter the challenges they face. These habits help them manage time, energy, and emotions so they can keep moving forward, even when things get tough. You will learn how to take control of your day from the moment you wake up, how to protect your peace in a noisy world, and how to build routines that make success feel natural and achievable. Every part of this is designed to be simple and doable. There are no complicated steps or expensive tools, just clear advice you can start using right now. Along the way, you'll find motivation to keep going when it feels hard and wisdom to understand why these habits matter more than quick results. If you are ready to grow in your personal life, become more resilient, and create lasting success, then these daily habits will give you a strong foundation. Keep reading and prepare to take control of your future by building the life you want, one intentional habit at a time. Chapter 1. Wake up early and plan your day ahead. Waking up early is not just about getting a head start on the world. It's about choosing to lead your life instead of reacting to it. Every morning before the noise begins, there's a window of quiet, a stretch of time that belongs entirely to you. And what you do with that time can shape everything else. The ultra-successful understand this. They don't leave their mornings to chance. They take control of them, and in doing so, they take control of their future. The habit of waking up early is a decision to live with intention. Most people wake up because they have to. An alarm screams, a meeting awaits, a responsibility calls. But those who shape their own success wake up because they've already chosen their path. They don't wait for pressure. They don't wait for panic. They wake up before the world does and decide how that day will unfold on their terms. When you wake up early, you meet yourself in silence. There's no rush, no distractions, just space. Pure, undisturbed space to think, plan, and reflect. This is not just peaceful, it's powerful. It's a sacred time when you're not yet being pulled in 100 directions. The outside world is quiet, but your mind is sharp. This is the time when your inner compass can speak clearly. You begin the day grounded, clear, and strong. Planning your day in those early hours is an act of discipline and leadership. It's you stepping forward and saying, "This is how I'm going to move today. These are the tasks that matter. These are the people who matter. These are the goals that will move me forward." Without a plan, your day gets filled with distractions. It gets hijacked by other people's priority. But when you begin your day early with a clear plan, you are no longer driven by urgency, you are guided by purpose. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about creating a long, rigid list and checking every box. It's about identifying the few things that matter most and doing them with focus and clarity. It's about showing up prepared, mentally and emotionally, to face whatever the day brings. Because once the day starts, life gets noisy. Unexpected things will happen. People will demand your attention. Problems will show up. But if you've already anchored yourself that morning, you're not shaken. You're not thrown off. You stay steady. That's the strength of an early, intentional start. The first step is setting a wake-up time that gives you at least an hour of personal space before the day begins. That might mean 5 a.m. For some, it might mean 6. The specific time is less important than the commitment to consistency. Your body and mind thrive on rhythm. When you wake up at the same time every day, you teach your brain when to be alert and when to rest. You become more focused. You become more present. You eliminate the chaos of rushed mornings and start stepping into your day with quiet power. When your alarm goes off, get up immediately. Don't argue with yourself. Don't give in to the comfort of the blanket or the temptation of 5 more minutes. Stand up, turn on the light, walk into the day you've chosen. That first act of discipline, getting up when you said you would, is a message to yourself that your word matters, that you are in control, that comfort will not win. In that first hour, move slowly but intentionally. Drink a glass of water to rehydrate. Breathe deeply. Stretch your body. Sit in silence. Think clearly. Take out a notebook and write down what matters today. What must get done? What can wait? What deserves your full attention? Who deserves your full presence? This is your time to decide, not to drift, not to react, but to lead. Planning your day doesn't mean scheduling every minute. It means creating structure around what truly matters. Choose your top 3 priorities. These are not random tasks. These are the actions that, if completed, will move your life forward. These are the calls you've been avoiding, the work that stretches you, the habits that build you. Write them down. Don't just think them. Write them clearly and review them as a contract with yourself. Also, schedule short moments of rest throughout the day. You are not a machine. You're human. The early start gives you time to think and breathe, but your energy still needs to be managed. A 5-minute pause in the middle of the day can give you the strength to continue with intention. Build these pauses in. Protect them. One of the most powerful aspects of waking up early is that it removes excuses. When you wait until later in the day to plan or act, life piles up. Your decisions get clouded, but in the early morning, there are no distractions yet, no emergencies. You have full control of your mental bandwidth. You can give your best thinking to your most important problems. And when you do that daily, you begin to see your own power more clearly. This habit also builds confidence. Confidence is not about pretending to be bold. It's about knowing that you are disciplined, that you can rely on yourself, that you do what needs to be done, even when it's not easy. Every morning you wake up early and plan your day. You build that trust. You prove to yourself that you are serious about your life, and that self-trust is what turns small wins into lasting transformation. There will be days when you don't feel like it, days when the bed feels heavier, when your mind tells you to quit. That's exactly when you get up anyway, not because you feel ready, but because you've made a promise. Discipline is not built through motivation. It's built through repetition, through action taken in the absence of feeling, through doing what needs to be done, regardless of mood. This habit does more than improve your productivity. It transforms your identity. It shifts you from being someone who reacts to being someone who creates. It rewires your brain to expect progress. It teaches your nervous system that discomfort is not a threat, it's a doorway, and it reclaims your most precious asset, time. Because once time is gone, it never returns. But when you rise early and plan with care, you stop losing time. You start using it. The people who move the world forward are not waiting for permission. They're not hoping for clarity. They create both. They wake up early, not just to work, but to think, to reflect, to lead. That's the difference. That's the standard. If your mornings are currently rushed or unstructured, start small. Wake up just 30 minutes earlier than usual. Use that time to sit in silence. Breathe. Think. Write. Then, as you get used to that space, extend it. Build a rhythm that works for you. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 90 minutes. The point is not how long, but how intentional. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You need a consistent one, a simple set of actions that help you begin the day aligned with your values and goals. Over time, this will become a ritual, a quiet but powerful act that tells the world you are awake, you are prepared, and you are leading your life. Remember, change doesn't happen all at once. It happens daily, through small repeated actions that accumulate into greatness. Waking up early is one of those actions. So is planning your day. These are not just habits, they are statements. Each time you rise with the sun and take ownership of your schedule, you are declaring with action that your life matters, that you are not here to drift, you are here to grow, to lead, and to leave a mark. Some of the most successful people in history, from CEOs to athletes to creators, credit their early morning hours as the foundation of their achievement. Not because waking up early magically makes you successful, but because the discipline and clarity it creates ripple into every area of life. The quiet discipline of an early start becomes the loud success of a focused life. The world may still be asleep when you rise, but you're awake, you're ready, you're alive with purpose. And as the hours pass and others begin to chase their days, you're already ahead, not in competition, but in commitment. You are not waiting for opportunity, you are creating it. So start tomorrow. Set your alarm with purpose. Get up when it rings. Move with intention. Sit with your thoughts. Plan your day. Choose your priorities. Lead with clarity. And do it again the next day. And the one after that. Because your life is not built in one moment. It's built in the moments you repeat. In time, this habit will change how you see yourself. You'll no longer be someone who scrambles to keep up. You'll be someone who leads from the front, not just early in the morning, but in everything you do. And that ultimately is the point. Not just to wake up early, but to wake up fully, to your life, to your choices, and to your potential. Each day is a new chance. Each morning is a doorway. And by walking through it with discipline and intention, you become someone who shapes their future on purpose every single day. Chapter 2. Take full responsibility for everything in your life. Taking full responsibility for everything in your life is the single most powerful shift you can make if you want to grow. Until you do, progress will always feel just out of reach. It's not because you're incapable. It's not because life is unfair. It's because, without ownership, you have no leverage. As long as you believe that someone else is to blame, you give away your power. You wait, you complain, you justify. But when you take full responsibility, you stop waiting and start moving. You stop blaming and start building. You stop reacting and start choosing. The truth is, no one is coming to fix your life. No one owes you a better past. No one else is required to believe in your future. The direction of your life is in your hands. And that is not a burden. It's your freedom. Most people are afraid of this truth because it means letting go of their excuses. It means admitting that maybe the problem isn't always out there. But if you can accept it, you unlock something most people never will: control. Not over everything, but over enough to create something better. Responsibility means you own your decisions, your actions, your habits, your attitude, your time, your energy, your words, and the impact they have. It means that even if something wasn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to respond in a way that moves you forward. That's where your growth begins. That's where maturity begins. Because maturity isn't about age, it's about owning your role in everything you do, even when it would be easier to blame someone else. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means being honest with yourself. It means looking at your life and asking, what part did I play in this? And what can I do differently from now on? That kind of thinking transforms your future. Because when you keep looking outside of yourself for reasons why things aren't working, you remain stuck. But when you look within, you start finding solutions. You start making changes that actually matter. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say, if they hadn't done this, I'd be further ahead. But the longer you live that way, the more powerless you become. The more your identity is tied to the idea that someone else is holding you back, The more your mind learns to wait for change instead of creating it, you lose time, you lose peace, you lose potential, and all of it can be reclaimed by one decision: to own everything in your life, whether you caused it or not. If you're stuck in a job you hate, blaming the job won't change it. Taking responsibility will. You might not be able to quit today, but you can build a plan, you can build a skill, you can change your attitude, you can take steps. If your relationships are strained, waiting for the other person to change won't fix anything. But taking responsibility for how you show up, how you communicate, how you handle conflict, that will make a difference. And if it doesn't fix the relationship, it will make you stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. There is no growth in blame. There is no healing in denial. There is only movement when you take control, not of others, but of yourself. That's what responsibility is. It's saying, I will handle this, I will learn from this, I will rise above this. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's what builds character. That's what creates confidence. And that's what separates those who repeat the past from those who create the future. When you start taking full responsibility, things will shift quickly. You'll begin to notice where you've been hiding behind excuses. You'll see the patterns that keep repeating because you've never challenged them. You'll become aware of how often you've waited for something outside of you to change, instead of taking ownership of the change yourself. This kind of awareness isn't always comfortable, but it's the beginning of power. Every excuse is a chain, every blame is a lock, every complaint is a wall. But ownership breaks those down, because now you're not asking for permission to change, you're choosing it. You're not waiting for someone to approve, you're deciding for yourself. You're not hoping someone else will make it easier, you're getting stronger, smarter, and more capable of handling what's in front of you. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what mistakes you've made, it doesn't matter who hurt you or who failed you. What matters is what you choose to do now. That's where your power lives. That's where your freedom begins. That's where your life starts to turn. If you want to grow, if you want to rise, if you want to build something meaningful, you must let go of the idea that life should be easier. Life isn't here to make you comfortable. It's here to shape you. And responsibility is how you cooperate with that process. Not by resisting, but by learning. Not by complaining, but by adjusting. Not by pointing fingers, but by stepping up. And the truth is, the more responsibility you take, the more peace you feel, because now you're not at the mercy of everything around you. You're not controlled by your past. You're not limited by other people's opinions. You are guided by your own values. You are driven by your own decisions. You are living from the inside out, not the outside in. That's how you stay grounded, no matter what's happening around you. This mindset creates clarity. When you own your results, you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending that time just got away from you, or that circumstances are to blame. You stop justifying inaction. Instead, you get honest. You look at your results and say, this is mine, and if I created this, I can create something better. That level of honesty is rare, but it's also the starting point of every breakthrough. It takes courage to accept that your life is your responsibility. It means facing your habit. It means admitting that you've tolerated things you shouldn't. It means doing hard things instead of easy things. But in doing so, you earn your freedom. You create a life that is shaped by your own hands, not by circumstances, not by chance, not by the decisions of others. There's power in owning your flaws. There's freedom in accepting your mistakes. Because once you stop trying to prove yourself to everyone else, you start improving yourself for real. You become your own standard. You define your own growth. You measure your progress based on who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today. You don't have to control everything. You just have to take responsibility for how you respond. That's what separates chaos from growth. Not perfect circumstances, but disciplined choices. Not a smooth path, but a committed mindset. If you want more from your life, start by owning the life you have. If you want peace, stop blaming and start building. If you want change, don't wait for it. Lead it. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not waiting for the world to change. You are the change. And the sooner you embrace this, the faster everything begins to shift. Your thoughts become clearer. Your actions become sharper. Your results become stronger. Because you're no longer scattered by blame. You're no longer lost in excuses. You are focused, intentional, and grounded in truth. This is not a one-time decision. It's a daily one. Every day you choose, will I take ownership or will I look for someone to blame? Will I lead myself or will I wait for life to carry me? The choice is yours, and so is the outcome. Responsibility is not a weight you carry. It's a strength you develop. It makes you resilient. It makes you powerful. It makes you free. Because now, no matter what happens, you know you have what it takes to handle it. That's the life of someone who grows. That's the life of someone who succeeds. Not because everything goes right, but because they take full responsibility when it doesn't. And in doing so, they create a life they're proud of, step by step, choice by choice, day by day. Chapter 3. Set clear goals and review them every day. Setting clear goals is not a task for the overly ambitious. It is the discipline of people who want direction, focus, and clarity in their daily lives. Without clear goals, your energy scatters. You might be busy, but you're not effective. You might work hard, but you won't move far. A goal brings structure to your ambition. It transforms raw desire into something precise and actionable. The moment you define exactly what you want, you start removing the fog that clouds your choices. You stop moving in circles and start walking a path that leads somewhere real. Your goals are not just distant dreams, they are commands to your mind. When you set a goal, your brain starts to align your thoughts and actions toward it. But this only happens when your goal is clear and detailed. A vague goal has no power. Wanting to be successful, healthier, or happier means nothing unless you define what success looks like, what health means to you, and what habits make you feel genuinely fulfilled. Specific goals give your mind something to pursue with precision. They create a standard to measure your progress against and help you spot distractions disguised as opportunities. Without goals, it's easy to drift through days that feel full but go nowhere. You might feel productive, but deep down you'll sense the emptiness of directionless motion. Clear goals fix that. They anchor your daily actions in something meaningful. They help you wake up knowing why you're doing what you're doing. You stop guessing, you stop hoping, you start knowing. And that kind of clarity strengthens your willpower. It sharpens your decision-making. It eliminates confusion, which is one of the most exhausting mental states to live in. Once you've set your goals, the real work begins. Goals without review become distant ideas. Reviewing your goals every day brings them back to the front of your mind. This daily habit builds internal alignment. It reconnects you to your priorities. It reminds you of what matters most before the world has a chance to distract you. It's not about obsessing or pressuring yourself. It's about staying conscious of your direction. Most people forget their goals not because they don't care, but because they never take the time to reconnect with them. And forgotten goals never get achieved. When you review your goals every day, you start seeing your time differently. You begin to notice how much of it is wasted on things that don't move you forward. You become more aware of the cost of distraction. You feel the urgency of focus. Your calendar starts to reflect your intentions. You stop saying yes to things that conflict with your direction. This isn't about being rigid or robotic. It's about being deliberate with your attention. Energy without direction is exhausting. Energy with purpose becomes powerful. It's important to break big goals into smaller steps. A long-term goal without short-term action will become overwhelming. But if you divide it into specific tasks, you start to see progress every day. That progress builds momentum. Momentum fuels belief, and belief strengthens discipline. When you track your steps, you begin to realize that massive change is the result of small things done consistently. You stop waiting for big breakthroughs and start respecting the compound effect of focused effort. Some people avoid setting clear goals because they're afraid of failure. They'd rather live with the excuse of not trying than the discomfort of falling short. But the fear of failure fades when you understand that clarity doesn't create pressure. It creates freedom. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aligned. A clear goal gives you something real to aim for. Even if you miss it at first, you learn faster. You adapt more quickly. You stop repeating the same mistakes. Clarity accelerates growth. Goal setting is not just about achievement, it's also about identity. Every goal you set tells your mind who you are becoming. When you write down a goal and review it daily, you're reinforcing that identity. You're reminding yourself that you are someone who values growth, someone who doesn't drift, someone who is capable of shaping their life. This internal reinforcement matters more than any external motivation, because external motivation fades. Identity lasts. When you live with clear goals, your confidence grows, not because you always win, but because you know what you're fighting for. You develop a kind of internal steadiness. You stop being pulled in 100 directions. You stop doubting yourself when others succeed, because you know what success means to you. Your path becomes yours again. And that is one of the greatest forms of freedom. To make this work, your goals must be written down. Don't rely on memory. Thoughts fade. Paper remembers. Writing forces clarity. It pushes you to define what you really want, not just what sounds good. Keep your goals where you can see them. Review them first thing in the morning. This is not a ritual for the sake of ritual. This is you commanding your attention before the world competes for it. It takes just a few minutes, but the impact of doing this every day adds up in ways you can't measure in the short term. When reviewing your goals, ask yourself how you're moving toward them. Be honest. What did you do yesterday that helped? What will you do today? What's getting in the way? What needs to change? This self-check keeps you grounded in reality. It turns passive goals into active direction. It reminds you that goals are not just dreams, they are a discipline. The truth is, life doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. A goal that lives in your head does nothing. A goal that lives on paper but is never reviewed becomes decoration. But a goal that is written, reviewed, adjusted, and acted upon daily becomes a force. It becomes a tool that turns your vision into real results. And once you feel the power of that, you'll never go back to drifting. Even when life gets chaotic, this habit becomes your anchor. Your days won't always go as planned. Some weeks will be heavy, but when you keep returning to your goals, you realign quickly. You don't spiral into confusion. You don't lose yourself in noise. You remember who you are and what you're working toward. That's not a small thing. In a world full of distraction, clarity is rare, and rare is valuable. Don't worry about having the perfect goal. What matters is that it's real to you, that it reflects something you deeply care about, that it pushes you to grow, and that you're willing to commit to it, not once, but every day. Goals are not a one-time decision. They are a daily agreement between who you are now and who you are becoming. And every day you honor that agreement, you get one step closer to the life you've chosen. The habit of setting and reviewing clear goals may feel small, but over time it transforms everything. It reshapes your habits, it refines your focus, it strengthens your will, and it keeps you moving forward, even when progress feels slow. The discipline of direction is a quiet power. It doesn't shout, it doesn't need attention, but it builds a life of meaning, one deliberate step at a time. Chapter 4. Build a morning routine that sharpens your focus. A focused mind is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is shaped by consistent action, and the first place that action must take root is in your morning. The way you start your day determines how you manage your time, how you process your thoughts, and how you respond to pressure. A strong morning routine isn't about perfection or performance. It's about setting the tone for everything that follows. If your mind is sharp early, your decisions are better. If your body is awake and alert, your energy stays stable. If your thoughts are calm and clear, your work reflects it. The most successful people aren't just busy in the morning, they're intentional. What you do in the first hour after waking up matters more than most people realize. If you reach for your phone the moment your eyes open, you hand your attention to the world before you've even claimed it for yourself. Messages, news, notifications, they all flood in before your own thoughts have had time to breathe. And once you give away your focus, it's hard to reclaim it. That's why a solid morning routine is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's your first defense against distraction and your first opportunity to take control of your day. Creating a routine that sharpens your focus begins with one decision: to stop living in reaction and start living with direction. You don't need to copy anyone else's ritual. You don't need a perfect checklist. What you need is a personal structure that helps you feel steady, alert, and mentally ready. That starts with knowing what you want from your morning. If your goal is focus, then everything you do in the early hours should clear your mental space, fuel your energy, and prepare your attention for the work ahead. Begin your mornings with stillness, not silence, but stillness of mind. This could mean sitting quietly for a few minutes. It could mean writing down your thoughts. It could mean breathing deeply and observing how you feel. The point is to give your mind space before the noise of the world enters. Focus doesn't come from force. It comes from clearing away the clutter. If you begin the day with chaos, you carry it into everything else. But if you begin the day centered, you stay grounded even when things get challenging. Movement should be part of your routine, not for aesthetics, but for clarity. Physical movement sharpens mental focus. A short workout, stretching, or even a brisk walk can shift your energy from sluggish to alert. It activates your body and brings you into the present. You're not just sitting in thought, you're engaging your entire system. When your body feels strong, your mind becomes easier to direct, and when you move early in the day, you build the kind of internal momentum that carries over into your work. Fuel your brain with intention. What you consume in the morning, mentally and physically, affects the sharpness of your thinking. Junk food dulls you. Negative input weakens you. If your first content of the day is meaningless noise, you'll struggle to focus later. But if you begin with something meaningful, a book, a lesson, a powerful idea, you feed your mind something that elevates you. Choose what you allow in, because it becomes the foundation of your mindset for the day. One of the most overlooked parts of a focused morning routine is attention to detail. When you know exactly what comes next in your morning, you reduce friction. You don't waste time deciding what to do. You don't argue with yourself. You move from step to step with simplicity. This might look like having your clothes ready. It might mean setting out your notebook the night before, These small acts remove mental weight and free your brain for deeper thinking. Clarity is not just about what you do, it's about what you remove. Your morning routine is your anchor, and like any anchor, it only works when you commit to it consistently. It's not about excitement. It's about discipline. You might not always feel like following it, especially on hard days, but those are the days when it matters most. If you can stay consistent when it's inconvenient, you train your mind to stay clear under pressure. And that kind of training doesn't come from reading or thinking, it comes from doing. Keep your routine simple, but meaningful. Overcomplicating it defeats the purpose. You don't need to cram 10 tasks into 1 hour. The goal isn't volume, it's impact. What actions help you feel ready to face your work with clarity? What gives you a sense of internal order? Build around those answers, and if something in your routine stops working, adjust it. This is not a rigid formula, it's a personal system that evolves with you. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. A few quiet, focused mornings won't change your life, but a few hundred will, and those begin one day at a time. You won't always feel the results right away, but over time, your thoughts will sharpen. Your distractions will weaken. Your ability to sit with discomfort, to handle pressure, to focus on what matters, those will grow, and that growth won't be loud, it'll be steady, unshakable, earned. Focus is not about having more time, it's about using your time with presence. A strong morning routine teaches you to be present with your actions, to pay attention, to move with intention, and when that becomes your habit in the morning, it spills over into everything else. You become someone who starts strong and stays steady. You stop rushing. You stop drifting. You begin each day with a clear head and a clear plan. When you look at people who consistently achieve great things, you'll notice something. They don't start their days in chaos. They protect their mornings. They guard their attention. They know that how they start determines how they finish. They take their mornings seriously because they take their lives seriously. And so should you. Your future doesn't begin in some distant time. It begins in the early hours of today. It begins when you decide that your attention is worth protecting, that your energy is worth directing, that your time is not something to spend mindlessly, but something to invest in with purpose. A focused morning is the foundation of a focused life, and you don't need to wait to build that foundation. You can start now. What you do every morning either moves you closer to clarity or further into distraction. You have the power to choose and the strength to follow through. So build a morning routine that supports your best work, sharpens your mind, and honors your goals. Make it yours, make it consistent, and keep showing up for it. One focused morning at a time. Chapter 5. Practice deep work without checking your phone. Distraction is the silent thief of potential. It doesn't arrive with noise or destruction. It shows up quietly in small interruptions that seem harmless but end up consuming the very time you needed to create something meaningful. The world is full of people with great ideas, clear goals, and strong intentions, but only a few ever reach their highest level of output. And the difference is not talent or luck, it is focus. Specifically, the ability to work deeply without giving in to the constant pull of notifications, messages, and screens. If you cannot control your attention, you cannot control your work. And if your phone controls your attention, your future is at the mercy of distraction. Deep work is the ability to concentrate without interruption on a task that demands your full mental capacity. It is rare, difficult, and valuable. In a world filled with surface-level tasks, deep work is what creates real progress. It's the space where your most important thoughts live, where ideas turn into results, and where you finally stop reacting and start building. This kind of work requires intention. It cannot be done casually. You cannot enter deep work while half scrolling through messages or bouncing between tabs. You must choose it. You must carve out time for it. And most importantly, you must protect it. The phone is not just a tool. It is a powerful force that reshapes your habits and your brain if left unchecked. It delivers constant novelty. It rewards short bursts of attention, and over time, it rewires your ability to focus on one thing at a time. The moment you check your phone, you leave the zone of concentration. Even if it's just a glance, the mental residue of that interaction lingers. It breaks your rhythm. It scatters your attention. It pulls you out of deep thinking and leaves you stuck in shallow patterns. And the more often this happens, the harder it becomes to return to deep work. Working without checking your phone is not a luxury. It is a necessity if you want to produce work that matters. It means setting boundaries with yourself. It means recognizing that your time is either spent deliberately or consumed passively. It means understanding that every time you look at your phone, you are not just losing seconds. You are losing depth. True productivity is not measured in hours. It's measured in the quality of attention you bring to each task, and that quality cannot exist when you are constantly interrupting yourself. To practice deep work effectively, create an environment that supports it. Start by removing anything that doesn't serve the task at hand. Put your phone in another room, or turn it off completely. Not silent, not face down. Off. When the temptation is removed, your mind settles faster. When your environment is clear of noise, your thoughts begin to connect in a deeper way. You begin to see patterns, solve problems, and produce work that is not just fast, but meaningful. Structure your work in focused blocks of time. 90 minutes of uninterrupted effort is often more productive than an entire day filled with breaks and notifications. During that block, commit fully. Don't multitask. Don't split your attention. Choose one task, give it your best, and stay with it. It will be uncomfortable at first. Your brain will look for ways to escape. But if you stay with it, something powerful happens. Your mind adapts. It stops craving distraction. It begins to trust focus, and that's when your best ideas start to show up. Set a clear intention before you begin. Know exactly what you're working on and why it matters. The more specific your purpose, the easier it is to stay grounded. Don't open a document and wander. Know your target. Write it down if you must. This small act of clarity strengthens your ability to resist the urge to check your phone. It reminds you that your time is valuable, that this work deserves your full presence, that you are not working to stay busy, you are working to create something that moves your life forward. Build a habit of starting deep work at the same time each day. Routine builds discipline. When your brain knows what to expect, it adapts faster. You spend less time preparing and more time producing. Even if you only have an hour, protect that hour with everything you have. Make it sacred, make it uninterrupted. Treat it like the most important meeting of your day, because it is. You don't need to be constantly connected to be effective. In fact, the more you disconnect from noise, the more connected you become to your own thoughts. Creativity lives in silence, clarity lives in depth, and excellence is born in the hours when no one is watching, and no one is messaging, and no one is pulling your mind away from what truly matters. The phone isn't the enemy. Your relationship with it is. When you use it as a tool, on your terms, it serves you. When you let it decide how you spend your attention, it owns you. Practicing deep work without checking your phone is how you begin to reclaim your mind. It's how you stop living at the surface and start thinking with depth. And in a world where attention is scattered, depth becomes your competitive edge. There will be discomfort in the beginning. Your mind is used to novelty. It's used to switching tasks, checking updates, and being entertained. But that discomfort is a sign that you are retraining your brain, that you are returning to a more natural, focused state. Stay with it. The ability to sit with a single task until it is complete is a rare and valuable skill. And like all skills, it grows through practice. Celebrate the progress you make in each session. Not every block of deep work will produce a masterpiece, but each one strengthens your discipline. Each one brings you closer to mastery. And mastery is not found in scattered minutes. It is found in long, uninterrupted stretches of focus. When you complete a deep work session without checking your phone, notice how you feel. There is a sense of quiet pride. Not loud, not dramatic, just steady. A kind of inner satisfaction that comes from knowing you honored your time, that you didn't run from the work, that you stayed with it when others would have left. That feeling becomes fuel. It reminds you that you are capable of focus, even in a distracted world. The more you practice this, the more you begin to see how much time and energy you were losing before. You realize how many tasks were being stretched into hours because of interruptions. You see that your potential wasn't missing. It was buried under noise. And now that you've removed that noise, you can hear your own mind clearly again. You don't need perfect conditions. You need commitment. You need the willingness to turn off the phone, to close the door, to sit with the work, and you need to do this daily, not just when it's convenient. Deep work is not a one-time achievement. It is a daily discipline, and with every session, you sharpen your mind, strengthen your character, and build the kind of life that only focus can create. When others are scattered, you'll be grounded. When others are chasing speed, you'll be building depth. When others are distracted by what doesn't matter, you'll be focused on what does. That is the quiet power of practicing deep work without checking your phone. It is the foundation of mastery, of excellence, and of a life led by purpose instead of noise. Chapter 6. Write your thoughts to gain clarity and direction. Most people go through life with a mind full of noise they never slow down to examine. They feel overwhelmed, scattered, and unsure of what to do next. Not because they lack intelligence or potential, but because their thoughts remain unprocessed. Writing your thoughts is not about being a writer. It's about understanding your own mind. It's about facing what's inside you with honesty and precision. When you write your thoughts, you move them from the chaos of emotion and assumption into the structure of language. That process alone reveals what's real, what matters, and what needs to change. Your thoughts can lie to you when they're only in your head. You can go days convincing yourself that you're too busy to take action, too stuck to make progress, or too confused to decide. But when you sit down with a pen and paper and begin to put your thoughts into words, you create space between yourself and your mental patterns. You see the loops. You notice the contradictions. You spot the fears that have been driving your decisions. Writing slows your thinking down just enough to reveal what's behind it. And once you see it clearly, you can respond with calm and confidence. The process is simple but powerful. Start with honesty. Write what you think without trying to sound wise or impressive. Forget grammar. Forget structure. Just express what's on your mind. You don't need a perfect place to begin. Just begin with the truth. That truth might feel heavy at first. You might notice feelings you've been avoiding, but facing those thoughts directly removes their control over you. What you write becomes a mirror. It doesn't judge, it reflects. It shows you where you stand, and in doing so points to where you can go. When your thoughts live only in your head, they become distorted by emotion and repetition. You replay the same worries, arguments, doubts, and stories over and over, without realizing it. But when you write them down, you interrupt the loop. You separate yourself from the thought and give yourself the chance to question it. Is this belief true? Is this fear grounded in reality? Is this goal still important to me? These questions arise naturally when your thoughts are written out in front of you. They give you direction. They help you think like a leader instead of reacting like a victim. Writing your thoughts is also a discipline of self-awareness. It allows you to track your mental habits, your emotional patterns, and your decisions over time. When you write regularly, you start to notice themes. You begin to see what triggers your stress, what strengthens your confidence, what repeats again and again without resolution. This awareness gives you power. It gives you the ability to change, not by force but by insight. And once you have insight, you can move with purpose instead of confusion. There is a calm that comes from writing your thoughts, not because you have all the answers, but because you are no longer lost in mental fog. Clarity is not found in endless thinking, it's found in captured thinking. When your thoughts are on paper, you don't have to hold them all in your head anymore. You create room for new ideas, deeper focus, and more grounded decision-making. You stop reacting impulsively. You begin to respond deliberately. If you don't know what to write, start by asking yourself simple questions. What am I feeling right now? What am I avoiding? What do I want from today? What do I need to let go of? These questions open a door to your own inner world. They help you dig beneath the surface of your daily routines and connect with the thoughts that shape your behavior. The more honest your answers, the more powerful the practice becomes. Writing your thoughts is also how you create a personal record of growth. It shows you where you've been, how you've changed, and what you've learned. Most growth happens so gradually that we forget we're growing. But when you look back on pages from months ago and see how differently you think, speak, or approach challenges now, you realize the impact of consistency. You see that progress doesn't require perfection, it requires attention. This practice doesn't need to take hours. Even 10 minutes of writing each day can clear your head and refocus your energy. The habit is more important than the length. What matters is that you show up, open the page, and speak to yourself through your words. The page becomes a private space to sort, reflect, and decide. It becomes a place where you are fully honest, without performance or pressure. You don't need to write only when things feel heavy. Writing when life is clear, when things are going well, builds even more awareness. You get to ask what's working, what feels right, what values are guiding your actions. You begin to build a map of the thoughts and habits that lead to strength, clarity, and discipline. And when life does get hard, you'll already have the habit of reflection in place. Many people avoid writing because they think they don't have time, but what they fail to see is how much time they lose through confusion, procrastination, and emotional reactivity. Writing gives you back that time by helping you focus. It removes the invisible weight of unprocessed thoughts. It replaces mental noise with structure, and it's one of the most cost-effective, practical tools available to anyone who wants to grow. Writing your thoughts also strengthens your decisions. When you write through a problem, you clarify what matters most. You see through the distractions. You identify your values. You stop making choices from urgency and start making them from awareness. And decisions made from awareness are decisions you can stand behind with confidence. There is no wrong way to do this. Your words don't need to be poetic. They don't need to be profound. They just need to be honest. The more honest, the more powerful. If you're angry, write it. If you're lost, write that too. If you're unsure of the next step, say it out loud on the page. This process will guide you back to yourself. It will show you that beneath the chaos of thought is a core of calm and clarity waiting to be accessed. The world will keep getting louder. There will always be more to do, more to prove, more to chase. But if you have a space each day to return to your own mind with calm and honesty, you will not be shaken by the noise. You will move through your life with deeper understanding and greater peace. You will act from a place of truth instead of reaction, and you will begin to trust yourself in a way that can only come from daily reflection. This habit doesn't ask for talent, it asks for honesty, patience, and consistency. Give it your attention each day, and it will sharpen your awareness, strengthen your discipline, and provide direction in moments of doubt. Writing your thoughts is not just a method, it is a mindset, a way of living with clarity, intention, and truth. A simple habit that creates extraordinary results over time. Chapter 7. Train your body to energize your entire mind. A strong body is the foundation of a sharp mind. Without physical strength, your mental clarity suffers. Without movement, your energy drops. Without consistent care for your physical state, your thoughts slow down, your focus weakens, and your emotional stability declines. Your body is not separate from your mind, it fuels it. Every action you take with your body either builds or drains the mental power you need to live with purpose, make decisions, and face challenges. Training your body is not about appearance or performance, it's about preparation. It's about showing up for your life with presence, force, and endurance. When your body is neglected, everything else becomes harder. Discipline feels like a struggle. Concentration turns into a chore. Motivation disappears quickly. But when you train your body, you begin to change the chemistry of your brain. Your mood stabilizes. Your sleep improves. Your energy lasts longer. You think more clearly. And none of this requires perfection. It requires consistency. It requires that you stop waiting to feel motivated and start treating your body as the essential system that carries your entire potential. Daily movement is not just for health, it is for resilience. When you move your body with intensity, you build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that discomfort doesn't control you, that effort won't break you, that pressure can be embraced, not avoided. These are not just physical victories, they are psychological ones. They remind you that your limits are not fixed, that your capacity is flexible, and that your effort matters. This inner strength shows up in every area of your life, not because you talked about it, but because you earned it through physical discipline. There are people who overthink every decision, who get stuck in doubt and hesitation. Often, they are disconnected from their physical body. They live in their minds, but forget the tool that drives their mind's energy. Your thoughts come easier after movement. Your clarity sharpens after sweat. Your self-doubt weakens when your body has been tested and proven capable. You don't have to guess what this feels like. You can experience it every day through the simple habit of training your body. You don't need hours at the gym or elite programs to begin. You need action. You need to stop delaying, stop over-planning, and start moving. A simple routine, practiced with intensity and presence, beats any complex program done inconsistently. What matters is not how advanced the workout looks, but how committed you are to showing up for it. Your body responds to effort. Your mind responds to momentum, and momentum begins with movement. Make time for your body before your excuses speak. Don't wait for a perfect schedule. Don't wait for motivation to find you. Move in the morning, walk during the day. Train your strength, use your breath, whatever form it takes. Let your body work, because when your body moves, your brain lights up. Chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins rise. These aren't just feel-good signals, they are performance enhancers. They regulate your mood, reduce anxiety, and improve memory and learning. You don't need external rewards when your own biology starts working for you. Training your body also teaches you structure. It reminds you that discipline is a daily decision, not a rare moment of intensity. The act of scheduling time to train, of following through when it's inconvenient, of pushing through fatigue, these are the same skills you need to build a business, pursue a goal, or lead others. Training is not a break from your responsibilities, it is training for your responsibilities. It's where you sharpen your capacity to handle pressure, discomfort, and resistance. Your posture, your breathing, your presence, All of these are influenced by your physical condition. When your body is weak or neglected, your presence shrinks. You feel smaller, you carry less energy, you fade into your environment. But when your body is strong, your presence expands. You walk into a room differently. You face hard conversations with steadiness. You hold eye contact longer. You radiate strength, not because you try to, but because it's rooted in how you carry yourself physically. People often search for energy in the wrong places: caffeine, noise, stimulation. But energy isn't something you chase, it's something you create. And one of the most direct ways to create it is through consistent physical training. The act of exerting yourself resets your nervous system. It wakes up your brain. It clears out the heaviness of stress. After movement, your problems feel smaller, not because they changed, but because you changed. You are no longer tired, reactive, or stuck. You are grounded, focused, and ready. This doesn't mean you push yourself to exhaustion every day. It means you respect your body enough to challenge it. That you include movement in your daily rhythm the same way you eat, sleep, or breathe. It becomes a non-negotiable. You don't skip it because you're tired. You use it to stop being tired. You don't drop it because you're busy. You know it makes your work more efficient. You don't wait to feel ready. You act and let readiness follow. Training also reminds you that growth happens under pressure. The first few weeks may feel hard. Your muscles will ache. Your motivation may waver. Your habits will resist change. But this is the price of building something real. And if you stay consistent, you'll notice shifts. Not just in your body, but in your mind. You'll handle stress more calmly. You'll make decisions faster. You'll fall asleep more easily. You'll start to expect more from yourself because you've proven what you're capable of handling. Over time, your identity changes. You begin to see yourself not just as someone who works or thinks or plans, but as someone who takes care of what supports it all. Your body. You become more honest with yourself. You stop seeking shortcuts. You stop complaining about what's hard. You start facing it head-on. Not just because you want results, but because the process makes you better. That kind of change doesn't come from reading. It comes from doing, and your body is the fastest place to begin. Your mind is your power, but your body is the system that fuels it. Treat it like a machine you depend on. Fuel it with movement. Maintain it with care. Strengthen it with resistance. Train it with purpose. And protect it from the laziness of comfort and excuse. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. One day missed doesn't break the chain, but quitting on yourself will. The days you move are different from the days you don't. You carry more clarity, more force, more resolve. You don't shrink from hard tasks. You rise to meet them. And all of that starts by training your body, not for image, not for praise, but for power. Real, internal, steady power. The kind that shows up quietly, but speaks through every action you take. The kind that endures longer than motivation. The kind that becomes a way of life. Training your body to energize your mind is not optional if you want to live with strength, clarity, and purpose. It is a daily act of respect for your goals, your potential, and your time on this earth. And once you build this habit into your life, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Because everything gets better when your body is alive, strong, and ready to carry the weight of your mission. Chapter 8. Feed your brain with powerful and wise knowledge. Your mind becomes sharp when you feed it the right material. If you want to grow, you need more than entertainment or surface-level opinions. You need knowledge that challenges you to think clearly, act wisely, and live with depth. What you put into your brain each day builds the quality of your decisions, the strength of your perspective, and the direction of your life. Many people consume information constantly, but never feel wiser because they are not selective. They fill their minds with noise, trends, gossip, and distractions. then wonder why their thinking feels scattered and their actions lack purpose. Wisdom does not come from how much you consume, but from what you consume and how intentionally you apply it. Feeding your brain with powerful and wise knowledge is a daily discipline. It is about seeking ideas that elevate your thinking, challenge your assumptions, and guide you toward truth. Not all information deserves your attention. You have limited space in your mind each day, and what you give that space to either strengthens your thinking or weakens it. Choose material that helps you grow. Study the thoughts of people who have built, led, endured, and risen. Read the words of those who lived with principle, courage, and clarity. Seek content that stretches your understanding and forces you to pause and reflect. Knowledge should not be used to impress others. It should be used to improve yourself. If you read just to collect facts or sound intelligent, you miss the point. Real knowledge transforms how you see the world and how you carry yourself in it. It changes your attitude, your language, your choices. When you take in ideas rooted in wisdom, you don't just become smarter, you become stronger. You build a deeper sense of patience, discipline, humility, and awareness. These qualities do not show up overnight. They are shaped by what you consistently study and apply. Make it a habit to feed your mind every day. Even 10 minutes of reading something meaningful can shift the course of your day. It can give you a new lens for handling a problem, a sharper way to express a thought, or a better strategy for facing a challenge. You don't need to consume large amounts at once. You need to return to good material often. Reread what matters. Revisit ideas that shape your character. Let powerful words echo in your mind until they become part of how you think. Avoid wasting your attention on information that adds no value to your goals, your growth, or your principles. The internet is full of opinions, arguments, and content designed to steal your focus. If you're not careful, you will spend hours absorbing material that makes you reactive, anxious, or mentally exhausted. You are not responsible for knowing everything. You are responsible for knowing what helps you grow into the person you are trying to become. Filter your input the same way you filter your food. Ask if it nourishes you, strengthens you, or brings clarity. If not, leave it behind. The people you admire, the disciplined, the wise, the grounded, did not become that way by accident. They studied, they read deeply, they listened with humility, they searched for truth beyond trends. And most importantly, they acted on what they learned. Feeding your brain is not just about taking in ideas. It is about applying those ideas in daily life. If you learn something powerful in a book, test it in your behavior. If a principle resonates with you, live by it. Let knowledge move from theory into action. When you read or listen to something valuable, don't rush through it. Pause, write down what stood out. Reflect on why it mattered to you. Repetition and reflection turn information into wisdom. Passive consumption leads to forgetfulness. Active engagement builds understanding. Highlight, underline, take notes. Talk about what you learned with someone who values growth. These habits turn learning into a daily tool for transformation. Not all knowledge is wise. Some is clever but shallow. Some is complex but useless. Seek knowledge that has stood the test of time. Look for principles that apply across situations, not just opinions that sound good for a moment. Truth does not change. The world changes fast, but wisdom remains steady. When your learning is rooted in wisdom, you become more stable, less reactive, and more intentional. You make decisions from strength instead of fear. You act with clarity instead of confusion. Your brain is your greatest tool, but like any tool, it dulls when neglected. It must be challenged, it must be trained, It must be exposed to powerful ideas that stretch its limits. If you never push your thinking, it remains average. If you never question your beliefs, they remain untested. And if you never seek knowledge that sharpens you, you stay where you are. Growth is uncomfortable at times, but the discomfort of learning is far better than the regret of staying stuck. You don't need to consume only books to feed your brain. Listen to lectures that inspire thought. Watch interviews with people who live with integrity. Write your reflections on what you've learned. Curate your environment so that what surrounds you supports your growth. Be careful who you listen to, what you watch, and what you repeat. All of it shapes your thinking, and your thinking shapes everything else. Make learning part of your identity, not something you do once in a while, but something you value deeply. Let people know you're someone who pursues wisdom, who values truth, who respects the power of a trained mind. Your focus will separate you. Your discipline will become visible. Your actions will begin to reflect a depth that others feel but cannot fake. When you feed your brain with powerful and wise knowledge, you're not just improving yourself, you're becoming a source of strength for others. You become someone others can trust for guidance, someone who doesn't panic under pressure, someone who sees through noise and finds the principle. This doesn't happen through luck. It happens through daily effort, through choosing what to focus on, through being serious about your growth. You will have days when learning feels slow, when the content seems heavy, when your energy is low. Still return to it. Even a few sentences can plant a seed. Even one powerful idea can redirect your entire week. The goal is not speed, it is consistency. Wisdom grows slowly, and that slow growth builds deep roots. Don't just feed your brain for the sake of knowledge. Feed it so you can think clearly, act wisely, and lead a better life. So you can rise above distraction, hold yourself to a higher standard, and help others do the same. When you choose your input with care, your entire inner world changes. And once that happens, everything on the outside begins to align with it. Knowledge is not power unless it is wise, and wisdom is not useful unless it is lived. Train your brain like you train your body, with purpose, structure, and discipline. Your thoughts will become sharper, your choices will become better, and your life will reflect the quiet strength of someone who no longer leaves their mind untrained. Chapter 9. Track your progress and fix what slows you down. Progress is never a matter of chance. It is the result of action aligned with awareness. No matter how strong your goals are, or how much energy you pour into your efforts, if you never stop to track your progress, you will never know if you're truly moving forward. It is not enough to work hard. You must also work with clarity. You must measure what matters. You must look at your own results without denial. You must examine your process honestly, not just to celebrate progress, but to spot the patterns, habits, and behaviors that are quietly slowing you down. Without tracking, your efforts become vague. You may feel productive, but feelings are unreliable when disconnected from facts. You may tell yourself you're consistent, but without clear records, you have no proof. You may believe you're stuck when in reality, you're improving slowly but steadily. Or worse, you may think you're progressing when you're simply moving in circles. Tracking your progress is how you replace illusion with insight. It gives you the truth, and truth is what allows real change. Start with what you're trying to improve, whether it's your discipline, your health, your skills, or your time management. Choose specific areas you can measure. Define what success looks like clearly so you can recognize it when it happens. Don't settle for vague statements like "get better" or "try harder." Instead, write down your targets in measurable terms. Track the habits you want to build, the tasks you want to complete, the outcomes you want to see. The more specific your tracking, the more powerful your adjustments can be. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need complicated systems to track progress. A simple notebook, a calendar, or a daily checklist is enough to create awareness. What matters is that you review it. Look at it each day, or at least each week. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't, and why. Notice patterns in your energy, motivation, and focus. Watch for behaviors that repeat and slow you down. When you can see the full picture of your efforts, you begin to understand your own psychology better than ever before. Many people avoid tracking because they're afraid to face the truth. They don't want to see how often they break promises to themselves. They don't want to admit how much time they waste. But avoiding the truth doesn't protect your confidence, it weakens it. There is strength in facing your own gap. There is maturity in saying, this isn't working, and I need to adjust. When you fix what slows you down, you free yourself. You reclaim the time and energy you've been unknowingly losing. Progress becomes sustainable when you constantly refine your system. You may start with enthusiasm, but only through tracking will you notice what drains you or distracts you. Maybe your environment is making focus harder than it should be. Maybe your routine is unbalanced, pushing you toward burnout. Maybe your expectations are unrealistic, leading to disappointment and avoidance. These insights don't arrive by luck. They arrive when you slow down and look closely at your habits and results. Fixing what slows you down requires humility. You must accept that what got you here will not get you further. You must let go of excuses that feel comfortable and trade them for actions that feel effective. You must look at your days and identify where time is leaking, where energy is wasted, where effort is misdirected. This is not criticism, it's self-respect. It is the quiet decision to no longer tolerate behaviors that steal your potential. It's not about being perfect. You will fall short. You will miss days. You will slip into old habits. But if you are tracking your progress honestly, you will not stay lost for long. You will see the trend, not just the moment. You will catch yourself sooner. You will get back on track faster. And every time you realign, you strengthen your ability to lead yourself. The best performers in the world review their actions regularly. They study their routines, examine their performance, and adjust without hesitation. They don't take success for granted. They don't assume they're improving. They verify it. You must do the same. You must become the kind of person who doesn't wait for problems to grow before taking action. If something isn't working, fix it quickly. If something works well, reinforce it. If something is unclear, break it down until it makes sense. This habit builds confidence, not the kind that comes from hype or temporary wins, but the deep kind that comes from knowing you're not lying to yourself. When you know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how far you've come, you walk differently. You speak with conviction. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're focused on your own real measured progress. You trust your process because you've built it with intention. Use your tracking as a source of motivation. Even small wins, when recorded and reviewed, become fuel. They remind you that change is happening. They show you that your actions matter. They prove that momentum builds slowly but surely. Don't underestimate the power of seeing progress on paper. It keeps you grounded on hard days and pushes you forward on good ones. Also remember to fix what drains your time emotionally. Negative thoughts, toxic habits, unproductive conversations, constant overthinking, all of these are forms of resistance. If they appear often, track them too. Write them down. Spot the patterns. Create strategies to replace them. Progress is not only about doing more, it's about doing what works and removing what doesn't. The more precise your awareness becomes, the faster your progress will accelerate. The less time you spend guessing, the more time you can spend building. You stop repeating mistakes. You learn faster. You become more effective with less effort. That is the power of tracking and correcting. Make it a part of your evening routine. Reflect on the day. Ask what moved you forward and what held you back. Write it down. Adjust tomorrow's plan. This small discipline compounds. Over weeks, you begin to see transformation. Over months, you become someone with direction. Over years, your results speak clearly. You will always have blind spots, but tracking and reflection reduce them. You will always face setbacks, but fixing what slows you down gives you control, and you will always have distractions. But awareness is what separates the distracted from the determined. You do not need to be perfect to grow. You need to be honest. You need to measure. You need to respond. Do this daily, and you will build a foundation that is unshakable. Your time will be used wisely. Your energy will be directed with purpose. And your progress will no longer depend on luck or mood. It will depend on your discipline. That is where your strength lives. In your ability to see clearly, act deliberately, and adjust without fear. Chapter 10. Speak less and listen with full honest attention. Speaking less and listening with full honest attention is a skill few master but all benefit from deeply. In a world full of noise and constant chatter, the true power lies in restraint and presence. When you speak less, you create space for better understanding. When you listen fully, you gain insight that often remains hidden beneath the surface of words. Silence is not emptiness, it is a doorway to connection, clarity, and wisdom. Speaking less does not mean being passive or invisible. It means choosing your words with care and engaging in conversations with intention. Listening is more than hearing. It requires your full presence, body, mind, and heart. When you listen with honest attention, you stop preparing your next sentence and instead focus entirely on the person before you. You notice their tone, their pauses, the emotions behind their words. This deep attention communicates respect. It builds trust. It opens doors to understanding that cannot be forced. Many relationships falter, not because people disagree, but because they feel unheard. Listening fully repairs this gap. People often rush to respond, eager to share their own thoughts or defend their positions. This impatience is a barrier to growth. When you listen less and speak more, you miss out on learning. You reinforce your own biases and limit your perspective. But when you pause and listen honestly, you allow new ideas to enter your mind. You discover nuances that challenge your assumption. You become a student of life, not just a participant in the noise. Choosing your words carefully is a discipline. Speaking less means speaking with purpose. It means avoiding filler, avoiding the need to prove yourself, and avoiding speaking out of emotion alone. Each word should carry weight and meaning. When your speech is measured, people listen more attentively. Your presence becomes stronger, your influence grows. This doesn't require grand speeches or eloquence, just honesty, clarity, and relevance. Listening fully requires patience. It means holding back your urge to interrupt or correct. It means letting others express themselves completely before responding. This patience shows maturity. It shows emotional intelligence. It allows conversations to deepen instead of fragmenting. When you listen with patience, you create an environment where real dialogue can happen, where ideas are tested and understanding expands. One of the hardest parts of listening honestly is quieting your own inner voice. The mind often races ahead, preparing answers or judgments while someone else is speaking. This internal chatter distracts from true attention. Mastering listening means training yourself to notice when your mind drifts and gently bringing your focus back to the speaker. This mental discipline is similar to meditation. It grows stronger with practice and results in richer communication. Honest listening also means being present emotionally. It means showing empathy without judgment. You don't have to agree with everything you hear, but you do need to acknowledge the other person's experience as real for them. This emotional presence deepens trust and makes conversations more meaningful. People sense when they are truly heard, and that sense opens hearts and minds. Speaking less and listening more also strengthens your decision-making. When you listen fully, you gather all the necessary information. You understand different perspectives. You see the complexity behind simple statements. This leads to wiser, more informed choices. When you speak less impulsively, you avoid misunderstandings and conflicts that arise from rushed words. Your communication becomes a tool for connection, not division. This habit transforms your relationships, whether with family, friends, colleagues, or strangers. People respond positively to those who listen well. They feel valued. They feel respected. They are more willing to share honestly and collaborate openly. This creates a foundation of trust that is essential for influence and leadership. Leaders who speak less and listen deeply inspire loyalty and respect. In daily life, practicing this skill requires deliberate effort. Start by being fully present in your next conversation. Notice how often you interrupt or think about what to say next. Commit to holding back and focusing completely on the other person. Reflect afterward on what you learned by listening more than speaking. Gradually increase this practice until it becomes your natural way of engaging. Avoid the trap of thinking listening is passive. It is active work. It requires mental focus, emotional control, and humility. It means setting aside your ego and giving your full attention to someone else's experience. This active listening builds connection and opens doors to growth you would not find by speaking alone. When you speak, choose your words with honesty and precision. Ask yourself if what you're about to say adds value, clarifies a point, or supports the conversation. Avoid speaking to fill silence or to impress. Instead, speak to contribute meaningfully. This restraint builds your credibility and increases the weight of your voice. The benefits of speaking less and listening fully extend beyond conversations. They impact your thinking and emotional state. When you stop rushing to speak, your mind settles. When you listen fully, your emotional intelligence grows. You become less reactive and more thoughtful. You develop patience and self-control. These qualities create inner peace that reflects outwardly. This practice also reduces misunderstandings. Many conflicts happen because people do not listen well. They hear words but miss the meaning. They respond to their own interpretations instead of what is truly said. When you listen honestly, you reduce these gaps. You respond to reality instead of assumptions. This leads to clearer communication and stronger connections. You will find that speaking less and listening more is not easy at first. It requires changing habits and resisting impulses. It demands self-awareness and a willingness to be uncomfortable. But the rewards are worth the effort. Your relationships improve. Your decisions become wiser. Your mind becomes calmer. Your influence grows. And you become someone people trust and respect. Not because you speak loudly, but because you speak wisely and listen fully. Over time, this habit becomes part of your identity. It becomes second nature to listen with attention and speak with intention. Your presence changes. You no longer fill silence with noise, but fill it with meaning. You carry a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your words matter, and your attention is a gift you give others. Choose to be the person who listens first and speaks last. Choose to value understanding over winning conversations. Choose to create space for truth through honest attention. When you do, you transform your life and the lives of those around you in ways that words alone cannot describe. The power of silence and listening is one of the greatest tools for growth, connection, and wisdom you will ever own. Chapter 11. Respect your time like it is your life. Time is the most precious resource available, yet it is often treated carelessly as if it were unlimited. Respecting your time like it is your life means recognizing that every moment is valuable and once lost can never be regained. This mindset transforms how you make decisions, prioritize tasks, and engage with the world. It is the foundation of self-respect and discipline. When you respect your time fully, you protect it fiercely from waste and distraction, because you understand that your life's quality depends on how you use each day. Many people spend hours each day on activities that do not move them closer to their goals or bring genuine fulfillment. Social media scrolling, unnecessary meetings, indecision, and procrastination consume precious minutes that add up to years over a lifetime. Treating time as a disposable commodity leads to stress, regret, and frustration. But when you honor your time, you build boundaries that keep you focused and productive. You stop reacting to every demand and start choosing what deserves your attention. Respecting time starts with awareness. You must know how you currently spend your hours without judgment. Track your days honestly and notice where your time goes. This clarity is not to create guilt, but to reveal opportunities. Once you see where your time leaks, you can take control. You can reduce or eliminate activities that drain your energy without offering real return. This process requires discipline because distractions are designed to be seductive. They pull you away from your purpose with ease. When you respect your time like your life depends on it, you become deliberate in your planning. Each day begins with intention, not chaos. You prioritize your most important tasks first and protect those periods fiercely. You know that time spent on high-value activities compounds into meaningful progress. You reject busy work and shallow obligations that fill your schedule but empty your spirit. This clarity creates space for growth, creativity, and meaningful connection. Saying no becomes your strongest tool. Saying no to distractions, to unnecessary commitments, and to people or activities that don't align with your values is not selfish. It is essential. Every time you say no to what wastes your time, you say yes to what matters most. This is how you guard your energy and maintain momentum. Saying no is a practice of respect. Respect for your goals, your health, and your mental clarity. Protecting your time also means managing your environment. Your surroundings influence how easily you can focus and use time well. Clutter, noise, interruptions, and disorganization all chip away at your ability to stay present and productive. Creating a clean, organized space is a simple yet powerful way to honor your time. When your environment supports your focus, you accomplish more with less effort. This reduces stress and preserves your energy for what truly matters. Respecting time requires managing technology with intention. Devices and apps are useful tools, but they also demand constant attention and often distract relentlessly. Setting boundaries around screen time, notifications, and digital consumption keeps you from falling into time traps. Use technology deliberately, not habitually. Schedule specific times for checking emails and social media instead of allowing them to control your day. This control is a form of freedom and a key step toward respecting your time. Another crucial element is the ability to focus deeply on one task at a time. Multitasking divides attention and wastes time. When you commit fully to a single task, you work more efficiently and effectively. This focused work respects your time by reducing errors and shortening completion time. It creates a rhythm where work flows smoothly instead of fragmented by constant switching. Mastering this focus is a skill that grows stronger with practice and protects your time from dilution. Respecting your time also means taking care of your health. Energy fuels productivity, and without good health, your capacity to use time well diminishes. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, exercise, and rest. These are not luxuries, but necessary investments in your ability to perform. When you treat your body and mind with care, you respect the time they give you. You extend your capacity for sustained effort and clear thinking. Time is not just about work. Respecting your time means valuing moments for rest, reflection, and joy. Burnout is a sign of disrespect, pushing beyond your limits without pause. Balance is essential. Schedule breaks, leisure, and meaningful relationships into your calendar. These moments recharge your spirit and renew your focus. Honoring time includes honoring your need for restoration so you can return to work stronger and clearer. Make decision-making a priority. Avoid indecision that wastes hours or days. When faced with choices, act promptly with the information you have. Perfectionism delays progress and disrespects time. Trust your ability to course-correct later if needed. Decisive action respects time by turning intention into movement. Movement creates momentum. Momentum builds success. Time respected is time leverage. It is the difference between surviving and thriving. It transforms vague goals into real achievements. It turns dreams into plans and plans into reality. This respect is a daily practice, a mindset that guides every choice, action, and commitment. When you live by this principle, you begin to control your life rather than letting it control you. Life is measured in moments, not possessions or titles. Time is your most honest currency. How you spend it reflects your values and your character. To respect your time is to respect yourself. It means you take ownership of your life, your future, and your legacy. Every day you have the chance to honor this gift, or to squander it. The choice is yours. Treat time as your most valuable asset. Protect it with discipline. Invest it with wisdom. Spend it on what elevates you and those around you. Guard it from distractions and drains. Fill it with purpose and presence. When you do, you build a life that is not just busy, but meaningful. You create results that matter. You become unstoppable. Respect your time like it is your life, because it is the very fabric of your existence. Chapter 12. Remove distractions that steal your mental energy. Distractions drain your mental energy faster than you realize. They chip away at your focus, dilute your willpower, and scatter your intentions into fragments. Every time your attention is pulled away, your brain must reorient itself, costing precious cognitive resources. Mental energy is a finite resource each day, and if you allow distractions to dominate, you leave yourself depleted and less capable of tackling meaningful work. Removing these distractions is not optional, it is essential for growth and success. Start by identifying what pulls your attention most often. This requires honest observation without judgment. Notice when your mind wanders or when you feel drained. Is it the constant ping of notifications? Is it the temptation of social media? Is it environmental noise or clutter? Are your own thoughts creating unnecessary stress and distraction? Awareness is the first step toward reclaiming control. Without knowing your main distractions, you cannot address them effectively. Physical clutter in your workspace acts as a silent thief of mental clarity. When your environment is messy, your mind mirrors that chaos. Organizing your surroundings calms your brain and sharpens your focus. Clear surfaces, tidy spaces, and designated spots for tools reduce the mental effort spent on searching and sorting. A clean environment signals to your brain that it is time to focus and perform. Removing this source of distraction is a simple yet powerful act of respect toward your mental energy. Digital distractions are some of the most pervasive and sneaky. Smartphones, apps, emails, and alerts are designed to demand your attention constantly. They create a false sense of urgency that pulls you away from deep work and reflection. To protect your mental energy, establish clear boundaries with technology. Turn off non-essential notifications. Set specific times to check email and social media rather than responding reflexively. Use apps that limit your time on distracting sites. Control your devices instead of letting them control you. Interruptions from others can break your flow and drain your reserves. When you work in environments with frequent disruptions, your productivity suffers and your frustration grows. Set boundaries with colleagues, family, and friends. Communicate your need for focused time clearly. Use signals or signs that indicate when you cannot be disturbed. Schedule blocks of uninterrupted work time and defend them fiercely. Each interruption requires effort to regain concentration, so minimizing these breaks preserves your mental stamina. Internal distractions like anxiety, doubt, and worry are equally draining. These mental habits hijack your attention and pull it away from the present moment. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to catch these thoughts early. When you notice your mind spiraling into distraction, gently return your focus to your task. Journaling can also help clear mental clutter by transferring thoughts onto paper. Strengthening your ability to control your internal dialogue protects your mental energy from self-sabotage. Multitasking is a myth that damages mental energy. Attempting to juggle multiple tasks divides your focus and reduces quality. Your brain is not designed to perform deep, meaningful work while switching constantly between unrelated activities. Choose to focus on one task at a time. Commit fully. This approach uses your mental energy efficiently and leads to better results with less exhaustion. Establish rituals that prepare your mind for focus. Before starting work, spend a few minutes calming your thoughts, setting intentions, and organizing your tasks. This preparation signals to your brain that distraction is not welcome during this time. Over time, these rituals create a habit of focus and energy preservation. Regular breaks are vital to maintaining mental energy. Working for long stretches without rest leads to fatigue and burnout. Use breaks to step away completely from work. Move your body, breathe deeply, or simply rest your eyes. These pauses recharge your brain and prevent the energy drain caused by prolonged focus. Plan your day to include these intentional breaks rather than trying to push through exhaustion. Evaluate the people you surround yourself with. Some relationships drain energy through negativity, drama, or constant demands. Protect your mental space by setting limits on interactions that do not support your growth or peace. Engage more with those who uplift and inspire you. Your social environment impacts your mental energy as much as your physical and digital surroundings. Remove unnecessary commitments that fragment your attention. Overcommitting creates stress and splits focus across too many areas. Learn to say no to activities and obligations that do not align with your priorities. Each no frees up energy to invest in what truly matters. This clarity and focus will enhance your effectiveness and well-being. Cultivate mental discipline like a muscle. The ability to resist distraction grows stronger with practice. When you catch yourself drifting toward distraction, pause and redirect. Each moment you reclaim your focus builds resilience and control. This self-mastery is a lifelong skill that protects your mental energy and enhances every area of life. Recognize that removing distractions is not about perfection or elimination of all stimuli. Some breaks and casual interactions are necessary and restorative. The goal is intentionality. Choose when and where to allow distractions, and when to protect your mental space fiercely. This choice creates a rhythm of work and rest that maximizes energy and effectiveness. When distractions are removed, your mind becomes clearer, your thinking sharpens. You enter a state of flow where work feels effortless and rewarding. This state is not a luxury, but a necessity for anyone seeking lasting success and personal growth. The mental energy saved by removing distractions compounds over time, leading to extraordinary progress. The power to remove distractions lies within your daily choices. It requires commitment to your priorities and respect for your mind's capacity. You are responsible for the quality of your focus and the management of your attention. Protect your mental energy by identifying distractions early and acting decisively to eliminate or reduce them. Your brain is your most valuable asset. Feed it well, rest it adequately, and guard it fiercely. Removing distractions is an act of respect to yourself and your goals. It empowers you to live intentionally, think deeply, and create meaningfully. This discipline is a cornerstone of success that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Chapter 13. Control your emotions when things go off track. When things go off track, the natural response is often frustration, anxiety, or even anger. These emotional reactions are automatic, triggered by the unexpected shift away from our plans or expectations. However, the difference between those who succeed and those who falter lies in how they manage these emotions. Controlling your emotions when situations derail is not about suppression or denial. It is about recognizing your feelings, understanding their source, and responding deliberately rather than reacting impulsively. Mastery over emotions during disruption is a sign of strength and resilience. Emotions influence decisions profoundly. When you allow frustration or panic to take over, your ability to think clearly and problem solve diminishes. Strong emotions narrow your focus to immediate discomfort, making it difficult to see options or alternatives. This reactive state leads to hasty decisions, mistakes, and a cycle of worsening problems. Taking control means breaking this cycle by stepping back mentally. It requires pausing before reacting and choosing your response thoughtfully. Start by acknowledging your emotions without judgment. Notice when you feel overwhelmed or irritated. Naming your emotions reduces their intensity. It changes your brain's response from reactive to reflective. Instead of being swept away by a flood of feelings, you observe them with curiosity and calm. This self-awareness creates space for control. It is a crucial first step toward emotional regulation. Breathing techniques are powerful tools for calming intense emotions. When stress rises, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. Consciously slowing your breath lowers your heart rate and signals your nervous system to relax. A few deep, controlled breaths can shift your state from agitation to calmness quickly. This simple practice is available anytime and anywhere, offering immediate relief and clarity when things go off track. Reframing the situation also helps regulate emotion. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as opportunities to learn and adapt. This mindset reduces emotional charge and encourages constructive thinking. When you approach challenges with curiosity rather than judgment, you open your mind to solutions. You shift from being a victim of circumstances to being an active problem solver. Emotion control also means separating facts from feelings. When faced with an unexpected problem, focus first on the objective reality. What exactly went wrong? What is within your control to fix? Distinguishing facts from emotional interpretations prevents exaggeration and rumination. This clarity enables practical action, which further reduces emotional distress. Cultivating patience is essential when things derail. Not everything resolves immediately or smoothly. Accepting that some challenges require time to fix prevents frustration from escalating. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active endurance with a calm mind. When you practice patience, you conserve energy and maintain perspective. Developing emotional resilience is a long-term process. It requires consistent self-reflection and practice. Journaling your emotional responses after difficult days helps identify triggers and patterns. Understanding these patterns prepares you for future challenges. Over time, you strengthen your ability to respond calmly and effectively. Building a support system also aids emotional control. Sharing your struggles with trusted friends or mentors provides perspective and reassurance. Others can offer advice, encouragement, or simply a listening ear. This connection reduces the isolation that often amplifies emotional reactions. Maintaining physical health supports emotional regulation. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise influence your brain chemistry and mood. When your body is well cared for, your emotional baseline stabilizes. This stability makes it easier to handle stress without being overwhelmed. Mindfulness practices deepen emotional control. Regular meditation trains your mind to stay present and observe thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. This practice increases your ability to notice emotional shifts early and choose how to respond. Over time, mindfulness transforms reactive patterns into conscious actions. When emotions run high, remind yourself of your larger purpose and values. Grounding yourself in what matters most provides motivation to stay calm and persistent. Your goals are not derailed by a single setback. This perspective shifts your focus from short-term discomfort to long-term vision. Control does not mean ignoring or bottling up emotion. Healthy expression is important. Find safe and constructive ways to release feelings, such as talking, writing, or physical activity. Suppression can lead to build-up and eventual breakdown. Emotional control means managing expression wisely, not avoiding it. Accept that setbacks are inevitable on the path to success. No one progresses without encountering obstacles. What matters is your response. Choosing calm over chaos, reflection over reaction, and action over avoidance defines your character and shapes your results. Practice small moments of emotional control daily. When faced with minor irritations or disappointments, use these opportunities to exercise restraint and clarity. These small victories build your emotional muscles for larger challenges ahead. Recognize that emotions are signals, not commands. They inform you about your internal state and environment. Listen to them, understand their message, then decide your response with reason. This approach balances heart and mind, leading to wiser outcomes. Remember that emotional control enhances relationship. When you remain calm during difficulties, you model stability and inspire confidence. Others respond better to measured reactions, fostering cooperation rather than conflict. In moments of derailment, focus on what you can influence. Direct your energy towards solutions and improvements instead of ruminating on problems. This proactive mindset reduces helplessness and increases empowerment. Ultimately, controlling your emotions when things go off track is a daily commitment. It requires self-discipline, awareness, and compassion for yourself. Each challenge faced with calmness strengthens your resilience and deepens your wisdom. This mastery over emotions becomes a source of strength that guides you through uncertainty and fuels your progress. Your ability to navigate emotional storms determines how far you go. Embrace this responsibility with courage. Practice patience, self-reflection, and deliberate response. Build habits that support emotional regulation. In doing so, you become unshakable, able to adapt, overcome, and thrive no matter what life throws your way. Chapter 14. Build routines that align with your biggest goals. Building routines that align with your biggest goals creates a foundation for consistent progress and lasting success. Routines are the daily actions that, when repeated over time, shape your habits, mindset, and results. Without alignment, routines can become mere busywork, disconnected from your true purpose. When designed with your most important goals in mind, routines act as reliable structures that guide your efforts and energy toward meaningful achievements. This alignment is not accidental. It requires intentional reflection, planning, and discipline. The first step in building aligned routines is clarity about your biggest goals. Define what truly matters to you in concrete terms. Vague goals like be successful or improve health lack the precision needed to inform daily habits. Instead, break down your aspirations into specific, measurable objectives. For example, increase sales by 20% in 6 months, or run 5 kilometers without stopping. These clear goals act as compasses directing your routine choices. Each habit and action should contribute directly or indirectly to moving you closer to these outcomes. Once your goals are clear, analyze your current routines to see how they match up. Identify which daily habits support your objectives and which ones distract or consume your time without real benefit. This honest evaluation reveals opportunities for change. Replace or modify routines that don't serve your goals. Small adjustments can create significant shifts when practiced consistently. Routines aligned with goals require balance between discipline and flexibility. Discipline keeps you committed to essential actions even when motivation fades. Flexibility allows adaptation when circumstances change or when you gain new insights. Build routines with clear structure, but allow room for adjustment. This dynamic balance helps sustain long-term commitment without burnout or frustration. Prioritize routines that have the highest impact on your goals. Not all habits carry equal weight. Some actions create leverage and compound results. For example, dedicating focused time to skill development may have more long-term benefit than spending hours on low-value tasks. Learn to identify these leverage points and give them priority in your routine. This focused effort maximizes progress and keeps you energized. Create routines that fit naturally into your daily rhythm. Forcing habits at awkward times leads to resistance and inconsistency. Observe your energy patterns and schedule key activities when you are most alert and motivated. Morning routines may suit some, while others find afternoon or evening work more productive. Designing routines around your natural tendencies increases sustainability and reduces friction. Incorporate rituals that signal the start and end of routines. These rituals prepare your mind and body for focused action. Simple cues like lighting a candle, playing specific music, or stretching can signal to your brain that it is time to shift into a particular mode. Over time, these rituals condition your brain for performance, making routines easier to enter and maintain. Track your routine progress regularly. Use journals, apps, or simple checklists to monitor consistency. This awareness builds accountability and motivation. Celebrate small wins and milestones to reinforce positive behavior. When you notice gaps or setbacks, analyze the causes and adjust your routine accordingly rather than giving up. Align your routines with your values and purpose beyond just goals. This deeper connection fuels commitment and satisfaction. When your daily habits resonate with who you are and what you stand for, they become expressions of your identity. This identity-based approach transforms routines from chores into meaningful practices that enrich your life. Anticipate obstacles and plan for them within your routines. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise. Identify potential disruptions in advance and develop contingency plans. This preparation prevents frustration and helps you maintain momentum despite setbacks. Resilience in routine practice is built by expecting and managing difficulties, not by avoiding them. Surround yourself with an environment that supports your routines. Your physical space, social circle, and digital inputs all influence habit formation. Remove distractions and temptations that interfere with routine execution. Engage with people who encourage your growth and share similar goals. This supportive ecosystem increases the likelihood that your routines stick and thrive. Integrate reflection into your routines. Take time regularly to review how your habits align with your evolving goals. Reflection allows you to fine-tune actions, celebrate progress, and reset intentions. This ongoing calibration keeps routines relevant and powerful as you grow and change. Remember that building routines aligned with big goals is a marathon, not a sprint. Consistency over months and years matters more than intensity over short bursts. Commit to lifelong practice and patience. Understand that progress often happens in increments, invisible day to day, but unmistakable over time. Avoid perfectionism in routine building. Mistakes, missed days, or imperfect execution are normal parts of the process. What counts is your ability to return to the routine and keep moving forward. Self-compassion fuels resilience and prevents discouragement that can derail progress. Use routines to manage your mental energy wisely. Prioritize actions that enhance focus, creativity, and emotional well-being. Avoid overloading your schedule with too many habits at once. Build gradually, mastering a few routines before adding more. This pacing preserves energy and builds confidence. Focus on routines that foster growth mindset qualities such as curiosity, adaptability, and perseverance. Incorporate habits that encourage learning, reflection, and experimentation. These routines build a mental environment conducive to continuous improvement and innovation. Be mindful of your motivations for building routine. Extrinsic rewards can provide short-term boosts, but intrinsic motivation sustains long-term commitment. Connect your routines to personal meaning, passion, and the impact you want to have. This deeper motivation fuels perseverance and joy in the process. Recognize the power of routine in shaping identity. Repeated actions form beliefs about who you are and what you value. Choose routines that embody the person you want to become. This intentional identity formation creates alignment between your daily life and your highest aspiration. Challenge yourself periodically to evolve your routines. As you grow, your goals and circumstances change. Stagnant routines can become obstacles. Review and refresh your habits to match your current level of ambition and capability. Growth requires both consistency and evolution. Involve accountability partners or coaches when possible. Sharing your routine goals and progress with others creates external motivation and support. Accountability increases follow-through and introduces new perspectives that enrich your routine practice. Recognize that routines are tools, not goals themselves. They serve your bigger vision and life purpose. Avoid becoming rigid or attached to routines for their own sake. Stay focused on outcomes and adjust routines as necessary to stay aligned with what truly matters. Ultimately, building routines aligned with your biggest goals transforms abstract dreams into concrete daily action. This alignment bridges the gap between intention and achievement. It creates momentum and confidence. It fuels resilience and clarity. Your routines become the steady rhythm that carries you forward through challenges and opportunities alike. Commit fully to designing, practicing, and refining routines that serve your highest ambitions. This disciplined approach shapes your life and your legacy. When your daily habits reflect your deepest goals, you live with purpose, power, and peace. Chapter 15. Help others grow without expecting anything back. Helping others grow without expecting anything back is a powerful act of generosity that enriches both the giver and the receiver. It is a practice rooted in genuine care and selflessness, where the focus is on uplifting others purely because it is the right thing to do. When you help others grow without strings attached, you contribute to a cycle of positivity and growth that extends beyond immediate gains. This mindset shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance and fosters deep fulfillment that cannot be measured by external rewards. True support begins with sincere intention. When your motivation is free from expectations of recognition, gratitude, or repayment, your actions become more authentic and impactful. This purity creates trust and openness, allowing others to receive help without pressure or obligation. It also frees you from disappointment or resentment that can arise when expectations are unmet. Helping without expecting creates a space where generosity flows naturally and joyfully. Helping others grow requires patience and humility. Growth is a process that cannot be rushed or controlled. Your role is to provide guidance, encouragement, and resources while respecting each person's unique path and timing. Recognize that everyone has their own challenges and lessons. Your support is a seed planted, not a guarantee of immediate change. Embracing this uncertainty with patience strengthens your commitment and resilience. Listening deeply is one of the most effective ways to help others grow. When you listen without judgment or interruption, you create a safe environment for honest expression. People often need to be heard before they can change. Your attentive presence validates their experience and builds confidence. This simple act of listening can reveal needs and opportunities for growth that might otherwise be overlooked. Offering knowledge and wisdom generously is another vital way to support growth. Share insights, experiences, and advice that can illuminate new perspectives or solutions. Be mindful to tailor your guidance to the individual's readiness and context. Avoid imposing your views or rushing to fix problems. Instead, empower others to discover answers within themselves by asking thoughtful questions and encouraging reflection. Encouragement and positive reinforcement fuel motivation and self-belief. Celebrate progress, no matter how small, and acknowledge effort alongside outcomes. This recognition builds momentum and reinforces the value of growth. Genuine encouragement shows that you believe in others' potential, inspiring them to persevere through setbacks and challenges. Helping others grow also involves creating opportunities for learning and development. Introduce resources such as books, courses, networks, or experiences that can expand horizons. Facilitate connections with mentors or peers who can provide additional support. Providing access to new environments broadens possibilities and sparks inspiration. Maintain boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. Helping without expectation does not mean sacrificing your own needs or becoming a doormat. Set limits on your availability and involvement to sustain your capacity to support others over the long term. Clear boundaries create healthy dynamics and prevent burnout, ensuring that your help remains effective and sustainable. Recognize that growth is often non-linear and messy. People may regress, struggle, or resist change despite your best efforts. Accept this reality without frustration or judgment. Your role is to offer steady support and presence, not control outcomes. This acceptance fosters trust and allows growth to unfold authentically. Practice empathy by putting yourself in others' shoes. Understand their fears, hopes, and obstacles. Empathy deepens your connection and enhances the relevance of your support. It shifts your approach from one-size-fits-all to personalized and compassionate assistance. Leading by example is a powerful form of helping. Your own commitment to growth, integrity, and resilience inspires others without words. When you embody the principles you share, you create credibility and motivation. This alignment between actions and words amplifies your impact. Helping others without expectation cultivates humility. It reminds you that growth is a collective journey where everyone contributes and receives in different ways. This humility dissolves ego and competition, replacing it with collaboration and mutual respect. Celebrate the ripple effect of your generosity. When you help someone grow, they are more likely to help others in turn. This chain reaction multiplies the positive impact beyond your immediate circle. Contributing to this expanding web of support is a profound source of meaning and satisfaction. Let go of attachment to recognition or reward. Focus instead on the intrinsic value of giving and the joy it brings. This shift liberates you from disappointment and opens your heart to unconditional generosity. Helping without expectation also strengthens your emotional intelligence. It cultivates patience, compassion, and self-awareness. These qualities enrich your relationships and enhance your ability to navigate life's complexities with grace. Encourage self-reliance rather than dependence. Support others in building their own skills, confidence, and decision-making abilities. This empowerment respects their autonomy and promotes sustainable growth. Acknowledge that your influence has limits. You cannot change others, only support their willingness to change themselves. Respect this boundary as a form of kindness toward both yourself and others. Remain open to learning from those you help. Growth is reciprocal, and every interaction offers opportunities for insight and reflection. This openness deepens your understanding and keeps your approach fresh and effective. Commit to consistency in your support. Regular, dependable help creates trust and momentum. Sporadic or inconsistent efforts may cause confusion or doubt. Reliable presence is a foundation for lasting growth. Reflect on your motivations regularly to ensure your help remains free from expectation. Self-examination keeps your intentions pure and your actions aligned with generosity. Help others grow as a practice of gratitude. Recognize the abundance in your own life and share it freely. This mindset transforms giving into a celebration of life's interconnectedness. Maintain optimism even in the face of slow progress or setbacks. Believe in the potential for change and the power of your support to make a difference over time. Choose to help as an act of service rather than obligation. This mindset shifts your energy and enhances the quality of your contribution. Respect cultural and individual differences in your approach. Tailor your support to fit diverse backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. This respect increases effectiveness and fosters inclusivity. Understand that helping others grow contributes to your own growth. The challenges and rewards of supporting someone else sharpen your skills, patience, and insight. Approach help with creativity and flexibility. Be willing to try different methods and adapt as needed. This adaptability reflects a commitment to truly meeting others where they are. Recognize the healing power of kindness inherent in helping. Your generosity can mend wounds, restore hope, and rebuild confidence. Keep your help grounded in reality. Avoid idealizing outcomes or rushing transformation. Real growth takes time, effort, and perseverance. Stay humble about your role. You are a catalyst, not the source, of growth. Honor the agency and strength of those you support. Celebrate the joy of giving freely. This joy nourishes your spirit and connects you to a deeper sense of purpose. Helping others grow without expecting anything back is a practice that transforms lives, including your own. It embodies the highest form of generosity and leadership. By committing to this path, you contribute to a world where growth and kindness multiply endlessly. This commitment enriches your journey and leaves a lasting legacy beyond measure. Chapter 16. Face discomfort and do hard things every day. Facing discomfort and doing hard things every day is a defining habit of those who achieve greatness. Growth, resilience, and true progress emerge from stepping outside comfort zones and embracing challenges head-on. It is natural to avoid pain, difficulty, and uncertainty. However, the path to lasting success requires consistent confrontation with discomfort. This daily practice builds mental toughness and reveals capability previously hidden beneath fear and avoidance. Discomfort signals that you are moving beyond familiar limits. It may manifest as physical strain, emotional unease, or mental tension. Instead of shrinking from these sensations, recognize them as signs of growth. When you choose to engage with discomfort deliberately, You rewire your brain to associate struggle with opportunity rather than threat. This shift in perspective is foundational to developing courage and stamina. Doing hard things daily demands clear purpose. Without a compelling reason, discomfort becomes unbearable and avoidance tempting. Connect your difficult tasks to meaningful goals and values. When your why is strong, it fuels persistence through hardship. Purpose transforms challenges from burdens into steps toward a valued outcome. Building this habit requires breaking discomfort into manageable pieces. Attempting overwhelming tasks all at once can lead to paralysis or burnout. Instead, divide challenges into smaller, actionable steps. Each small victory strengthens confidence and momentum. Gradual exposure to difficulty conditions your mind and body to endure more over time. Develop routines that incorporate deliberate discomfort. This could be physical exercise that pushes your limits, learning new skills that frustrate and confuse, or tackling tasks that provoke anxiety. Regular practice removes the novelty and fear from discomfort, making it a familiar and even welcome companion on your journey. Mindset plays a crucial role. View hard things as training rather than punishment. Each challenge is an exercise that builds your character and skill. This reframing creates a positive feedback loop, encouraging you to seek rather than avoid difficulty. Discomfort often triggers resistance. You may feel an urge to quit, procrastinate, or distract yourself. Anticipate these reactions and develop strategies to overcome them. Use affirmations, reminders of your goals, or accountability partners to stay committed. Discipline grows by repeatedly choosing action over avoidance. Learning from discomfort is essential. After facing a difficult situation, reflect on what you experienced, what worked, and what could improve. This reflection turns struggle into insight, deepening your growth. Treat every hard day as a lesson rather than a setback. Physical health supports your capacity to handle daily challenges. Nourish your body with proper nutrition, rest, and movement. A strong body enhances endurance, focus, and emotional stability needed to face discomfort. Neglecting physical well-being weakens your foundation and makes hardship harder to bear. Embrace discomfort as a teacher of humility. Hard experiences remind you of your limits and imperfection. This humility fosters openness to learning and connection with others. It grounds ambition in reality and encourages patience in progress. Cultivate gratitude for the opportunity to face hard things. Many avoid challenges out of fear or comfort. Your willingness to engage reflects strength and privilege. Gratitude transforms hardship into a sacred space for transformation. Face emotional discomfort by developing emotional intelligence. Practice recognizing, naming, and sitting with uncomfortable feelings instead of fleeing them. This emotional endurance builds resilience and reduces reactivity. Seek discomfort in social interactions as well. Difficult conversations, constructive criticism, and vulnerability stretch emotional muscles. These experiences deepen relationships and build social courage. Celebrate your progress in facing discomfort. Acknowledge the courage it takes to show up each day and tackle hard things. This recognition fuels motivation and reinforces positive habits. Remember that discomfort is temporary. No matter how intense a challenge feels, it will pass. This awareness provides comfort and perspective during difficult moments. Create environments that support your willingness to face discomfort. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth and challenge complacency. Limit exposure to enabling or comfort-seeking influences. Practice self-compassion during difficult times. Facing hard things does not require harshness toward yourself. Treat setbacks with kindness and understanding. This supportive inner dialogue sustains effort and prevents discouragement. Visualize success beyond discomfort. Imagine how overcoming current challenges will strengthen you and bring you closer to your goals. This mental imagery builds resolve and optimism. Avoid seeking comfort as a default. When you feel discomfort, resist the urge to distract or escape. Instead, lean into the feeling and explore its lessons. This practice expands your tolerance and control. Incorporate discomfort into daily rituals to normalize it. This might include cold showers, meditation, or challenging intellectual pursuits. These habitual exposures build resilience and prepare you for bigger challenges. Recognize that doing hard things every day is a lifelong commitment. Growth never ends. Embracing this ongoing challenge keeps you engaged, curious, and fulfilled. Balance discomfort with recovery. Rest, reflection, and self-care are necessary to sustain effort. Smart pacing prevents burnout and maintains long-term capability. Challenge your beliefs about discomfort. Many associate it with failure or weakness. Redefine discomfort as strength, progress, and self-mastery. This mental shift empowers consistent action. Understand that discomfort connects you with your authentic self. Struggles reveal core values, desires, and potential. This deeper self-awareness enriches your journey and sharpens your purpose. Use discomfort as a compass for growth. Areas where you feel most resistance often highlight where you need development. Facing these areas leads to breakthrough and transformation. Let go of the illusion that life should be easy. Accept that difficulty is inherent to growth and fulfillment. This acceptance reduces frustration and increases resilience. Build courage by facing discomfort regularly. Courage is not absence of fear, but action despite it. Each step into discomfort strengthens this vital trait. Practice gratitude for the lessons discomfort teaches. Challenges reveal strength, reveal weaknesses, and build wisdom. This gratitude turns hardship into a source of power. Ultimately, facing discomfort and doing hard things every day creates a life of meaning, strength, and achievement. It separates those who merely dream from those who make dreams real. This practice builds character, sharpens skill, and reveals potential. By committing to this path, you cultivate an unshakable foundation for success in every area of life. Chapter 17. Say no to anything that weakens your discipline. Saying no to anything that weakens your discipline is essential for building and maintaining the focused mindset necessary to achieve your goals. Discipline is the foundation upon which success is built, and it demands constant protection from influences and habits that erode it. Without firm boundaries, distractions and temptations can slowly undermine your progress, leaving you frustrated and far from where you want to be. Learning to say no is not about restriction, but about creating space and clarity for what truly matters. Discipline thrives on clarity and commitment. When you understand your priorities deeply, saying no becomes a natural response to anything that does not support your vision. This clarity eliminates indecision and hesitation, allowing you to act swiftly and confidently in defense of your goals. Every no is a conscious choice to protect your focus and energy for the tasks that move you forward. Identify what specifically weakens your discipline. These may be certain activities, environments, or even relationships that consistently drain your willpower or distract your attention. Common culprits include excessive social media, unhealthy habits, procrastination triggers, or toxic influences. Becoming aware of these weaknesses is the first step towards setting firm boundaries against them. Practice saying no proactively rather than reactively. Waiting until temptation or distraction arises can lead to weak responses or rationalization. Anticipate situations where your discipline is likely to be tested and decide in advance to decline any invitations, habits, or thoughts that could weaken your resolve. This preparation builds mental strength and reduces vulnerability to momentary lapse. Understand that saying no is an act of self-respect. It honors your commitment to yourself and your dreams. Viewing no as a positive, empowering choice rather than a denial or loss changes your relationship with it. Saying no becomes a way to affirm your priorities and integrity. Create routines that reinforce your ability to say no. Build habits that support discipline, such as scheduling focused work periods, limiting exposure to distractions, and prioritizing restorative activity. Strong routines reduce the need for constant willpower by embedding discipline into your daily life. Learn to say no to internal distractions as well. Self-doubt, negative thoughts, and excuses can weaken discipline from within. Challenge these mental barriers immediately when they arise. Replace them with affirmations of your capability and commitment. Mental discipline is as important as physical actions. Respect your limits by saying no to overcommitment. Taking on too many responsibilities or projects can dilute your focus and exhaust your energy. Prioritize quality over quantity and commit only to what aligns with your highest goals. Boundaries around your time and attention preserve discipline and effectiveness. Saying no may require courage and discomfort, especially when it involves disappointing others or breaking social norms. Accept that protecting your discipline sometimes means standing alone or facing criticism. This courage strengthens over time and becomes a vital part of your growth. Practice polite but firm refusals. You do not need to explain or justify your no excessiveness. Simple and direct responses communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully. This clarity reduces misunderstandings and reinforces your commitment. Reflect regularly on the impact of saying no. Notice how your discipline improves, how your time and energy become more focused, and how your progress accelerates. This reflection motivates you to continue setting boundaries consistently. Avoid guilt when saying no. Guilt undermines your confidence and may lead to wavering commitments. Understand that prioritizing yourself and your goals is necessary and responsible. Saying no is an act of stewardship over your potential. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries. Social support makes saying no easier and sustains your discipline. Engage with those who share your values and encourage your growth rather than distract or tempt you. Use technology mindfully to guard your discipline. Tools like website blockers, app timers, or scheduled downtime help limit exposure to digital distractions. Control your environment proactively rather than reacting to interruptions. Celebrate your successes in saying no. Each time you protect your discipline by declining a weakening influence, acknowledge your strength. This positive reinforcement builds momentum and self-belief. Recognize that discipline is a muscle that strengthens with consistent use. Saying no regularly trains this muscle, making it easier over time to resist temptations and distractions. Stay mindful of subtle ways your discipline can be weakened. Small compromises or just this once decisions accumulate and erode willpower. Maintain vigilance and uphold your boundaries consistently. Practice patience with yourself. When you slip, occasional lapses are part of the process. What matters is your ability to recommit quickly and learn from mistakes. Align your no with your long-term vision. Whenever tempted to weaken your discipline, remind yourself of your bigger purpose. This connection fuels determination and reduces impulsivity. Embrace minimalism in your commitments and possessions to reduce distractions. A simpler environment and fewer obligations help maintain focus and discipline. Develop rituals that signal your commitment to discipline each day. These rituals anchor your mindset and prepare you to say no when challenges arise. Use visualization to rehearse saying no in challenging situations. Mental preparation builds confidence and reduces anxiety about setting boundaries. Balance firmness with flexibility. While protecting discipline is crucial, remain open to adjusting boundaries when aligned with evolving goals or new information. Understand that saying no is not selfish, but an essential act of self-care and respect. It allows you to give your best to the things that matter most. Practice gratitude for your ability to choose. Recognize that each no is a step toward freedom and mastery rather than limitation. Recognize the freedom that comes from disciplined living. Saying no to weakening influences opens space for creativity, growth, and fulfillment. Avoid multitasking and fragmented attention as ways that dilute discipline. Say no to interruptions and focus fully on one task at a time. Build accountability systems to support your discipline. Share your boundaries and goals with trusted individuals who can encourage your no when you falter. Learn to say no to negative influences that weaken your mindset. This includes limiting exposure to pessimism, gossip, and unproductive criticism. Strengthen your resolve by remembering past successes where saying no preserved your progress. Use these memories as motivation. Understand that discipline protects your most valuable asset, your time. Saying no ensures this resource is used with intention and purpose. Maintain consistent sleep, nutrition, and exercise habits to support mental clarity and willpower needed for saying no. Practice self-awareness to recognize moments when discipline is vulnerable. Early recognition allows you to intervene with a firm no. Set clear, measurable goals to give your no a strong foundation. Knowing what you want makes it easier to reject what detracts. Use positive self-talk to reinforce your decisions. Remind yourself that every no is a building block for your future success. Ultimately, saying no to anything that weakens your discipline is an act of empowerment and commitment. It creates the conditions for sustained focus, growth, and achievement. By consistently defending your discipline with clear boundaries and intentional choices, you build a life of purpose and progress. This habit strengthens your character and clarifies your path, making success not just possible but inevitable. Chapter 18. Reflect on your day before going to sleep. Reflecting on your day before going to sleep is a powerful practice that transforms ordinary routines into meaningful growth opportunities. This moment of quiet evaluation offers a chance to understand your actions, choices, and emotions from the day, giving clarity and insight that guide your future decisions. Ending your day with reflection deepens self-awareness and helps close the day with intention rather than rushing mindlessly into rest. It sets the stage for renewed focus and energy upon waking. Reflection is not about judgment or self-criticism. It is an honest, compassionate examination of what went well and what could improve. This mindset fosters learning rather than guilt, making the process constructive and motivating. When you consistently reflect, you cultivate a clearer sense of progress and direction, which reinforces your commitment to your goals. The process of reflection can begin by simply recalling the day's events in your mind or writing them down. This review brings awareness to patterns and behaviors that might otherwise be overlooked in the busyness of life. It highlights moments of success and challenge, revealing what strategies or attitudes serve you best and what drains your energy. Consider the emotional tone of your day. Reflect on moments when you felt joy, frustration, or calmness. Understanding these emotional signals offers insight into your mental state and triggers, helping you manage stress and maintain balance. Emotional reflection is key to developing resilience and emotional intelligence. Ask yourself what actions brought you closer to your goals and which ones pulled you away. This evaluation helps you stay aligned with your priorities and make intentional adjustments. It turns daily experiences into valuable feedback rather than random events. Reflecting before sleep also supports mental closure. It prevents unresolved thoughts and worries from disturbing rest. When your mind has processed the day's experiences consciously, it is easier to relax and enter deep restorative sleep, which is essential for physical and mental recovery. Incorporate gratitude into your reflection. Identify specific things you appreciate from the day, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts focus from problems to positives, promoting a healthier mindset and improved well-being. Use this quiet time to forgive yourself for mistakes or shortcomings. Holding on to regret can trap your mind in negativity and prevent growth. Self-forgiveness opens space for learning and self-compassion. Reflection is a tool for continuous improvement. Notice any habits or routines that helped or hindered your productivity and mood. This awareness guides better planning and decision-making for the next day. Consider your interactions with others. Reflect on how your communication and behavior affected relationships. This social awareness supports personal growth and deepens connections. End your reflection by setting a simple intention for tomorrow. This forward-looking focus bridges reflection with action and prepares your mind to approach the next day with clarity and purpose. Make reflection a non-negotiable part of your nightly routine. Consistency turns it into a habit that naturally integrates into your lifestyle, steadily enhancing self-awareness and effectiveness. Avoid making reflection a source of anxiety or overthinking. Keep it brief and focused on practical insights. A calm, structured approach maximizes benefits and keeps reflection enjoyable. Recognize that reflection reveals progress often invisible in the moment. Small wins and subtle shifts accumulate to create significant transformation over time. Consider journaling as a method for reflection. Writing clarifies thoughts and preserves insights for future reference. It also serves as a record of growth that motivates continued effort. Create a dedicated space and time for reflection that feels peaceful and free from distractions. This environment encourages mindfulness and deeper connection with yourself. Use reflective questions to guide your practice. Examples include: what did I learn today? How did I handle challenges? What am I grateful for? What can I improve tomorrow? Tailoring questions to your goals increases relevance. Incorporate breathwork or meditation before reflection to calm your mind and enhance focus. This practice deepens the quality of your insights. Share reflections with a trusted mentor or friend occasionally to gain external perspective and support. Dialogue enriches understanding and accountability. Acknowledge that some days will be harder to reflect on positively. On these days, focus on resilience and the intention to improve rather than outcomes. Remember that reflection is a form of self-respect. It honors your journey and acknowledges your commitment to growth. Use reflection to identify distractions or habits that consume time without value. Recognizing these patterns supports stronger discipline and time management. Consider how your physical state influenced your day. Reflection on sleep, nutrition, and movement informs adjustments that boost energy and focus. Reflect on your mindset throughout the day. Notice moments of doubt or confidence and their impact on actions. This awareness guides mental conditioning. Use reflection to monitor your emotional triggers and responses. This monitoring increases emotional regulation and interpersonal effectiveness. Make reflection a moment of kindness toward yourself. Celebrate effort and persistence as much as outcomes. Consider how your environment affected your productivity and mood. Adjust surroundings to better support your goal. Reflect on how well you maintain balance between work, rest, and recreation. Balance supports sustainable growth and prevents burnout. Use reflection to clarify values and ensure daily actions align with them. Alignment deepens motivation and satisfaction. Recognize that reflection is a continuous process, not a one-time event. Your insights will evolve as you grow. End reflection by visualizing success and well-being, planting seeds of motivation and positivity. Ultimately, reflecting on your day before sleep is a gift you give yourself. It fosters clarity, gratitude, and growth. This simple yet profound habit shapes your mindset, sharpens your focus, and nurtures your resilience. Consistent reflection transforms ordinary days into stepping stones toward the extraordinary life you are building. Chapter 19. Repeat the right actions until they become automatic. Repeating the right actions until they become automatic is the cornerstone of mastery and lasting success. Habits form the invisible architecture of our lives, shaping our behavior, decisions, and ultimately our outcomes. When the correct actions are repeated consistently, they move from conscious effort to effortless routine, freeing mental energy and creating a foundation for continuous growth. This process transforms fleeting motivation into sustainable discipline. Understanding how repetition works is crucial. The brain creates neural pathways that strengthen each time an action is repeated. At first, performing new behaviors requires focused attention and willpower. Over time, these behaviors become ingrained, requiring less conscious thought and effort. This automation is what makes habits so powerful. They run in the background, guiding your life without constant vigilance. Start by identifying which actions truly align with your goals. Not every habit is worth cultivating. Focus on behaviors that produce tangible progress, improve your mindset, or enhance your health. Clarity about the right actions ensures your repetition leads to meaningful results rather than busy work. Break down complex goals into simple, repeatable steps. This simplification removes overwhelm and makes it easier to maintain consistency. Small wins build momentum and reinforce motivation. Each completed action sends a signal of success to your brain, encouraging further repetition. Consistency beats intensity. It is better to repeat the right action daily in small doses than to engage in sporadic bursts of effort. Regular practice strengthens habits and builds resilience against setbacks. Missing a day is not failure if you return quickly and maintain overall rhythm. Create environmental cues to trigger the right actions. These cues act as reminders and reduce reliance on memory or willpower. For example, placing workout clothes by your bed prompts morning exercise. Linking habits to existing routines increases their automaticity. Track your progress to reinforce repetition. Visual evidence of consistency builds pride and accountability. Use journals, apps, or simple checklists to mark each successful repetition. This tracking cultivates a growth mindset and provides motivation during challenging periods. Expect resistance and discomfort in the early stages. The brain prefers familiar patterns and may resist change. Persistence despite discomfort accelerates habit formation. Recognize resistance as a sign of growth rather than a reason to quit. Celebrate incremental progress. Each repetition brings you closer to mastery. Recognize these moments to sustain enthusiasm and reduce burnout. Positive reinforcement strengthens habit circuits in the brain. Avoid multitasking when building new habits. Focused repetition embeds behaviors more deeply than scattered effort. Concentrated attention during practice enhances learning and speeds automation. Adapt and refine your actions based on feedback. Not every repeated behavior is perfectly aligned. Reflect on outcomes and adjust to improve effectiveness. Flexibility ensures habits remain relevant and productive. Use visualization techniques alongside repetition. Mentally rehearsing the right actions primes the brain and increases the likelihood of performing them consistently. Visualization strengthens neural connections even before physical execution. Involve accountability partners when possible. Sharing your goals and progress with others increases commitment and provides support during lapses. External accountability complements internal motivation. Prioritize key habits that have the most significant impact. Focused repetition on a few high-leverage actions produces better results than spreading effort thin across many small habits. This prioritization maximizes return on investment. Integrate habits into daily life naturally. Forced or artificial routines are harder to sustain. Embed actions into existing schedules and environments to reduce friction and increase longevity. Practice patience. Habit formation timelines vary, but persistence leads to eventual automaticity. Avoid expecting immediate perfection. Focus on consistent effort over time. Guard against complacency once habits become automatic. Maintenance requires occasional review and reinforcement. Periodically revisit your routines to ensure they remain aligned and effective. Use positive language to reinforce your identity with the habit. Instead of saying "I have to," say "I choose to," or "I am the type of person who." This self-perception strengthens motivation and commitment. Recognize that some habits require greater initial effort due to complexity or discomfort. Breaking these into smaller segments and building gradually facilitates smoother adoption. Eliminate barriers that impede repetition. Simplify steps, reduce friction and remove distractions. The easier an action is to repeat, the more likely it will become automatic. Focus on the process rather than just the outcome. Enjoying the action itself increases intrinsic motivation and supports long-term consistency. Celebrate the transformation as the habit becomes part of your identity. When the right actions run automatically, they free mental space for creativity, problem-solving and new growth challenges. Maintain flexibility, evolve habits as circumstances change. Life shifts require adjustments in routines. Staying adaptable keeps habits relevant and effective. Understand that repeating the right actions builds confidence. Mastery emerges from competence developed through consistent practice. Use habit stacking by attaching new behaviors to existing ones. This technique leverages established routines to anchor new actions more firmly. Practice self-compassion when facing setbacks. Occasional lapses are natural. What matters is your willingness to resume repetition without harsh judgment. Visualize the long-term benefits of automatic habits. Seeing the future rewards strengthens present effort and patience. Recognize that repetition rewires the brain toward success. This neuroplasticity empowers you to change deeply ingrained patterns and create new pathways for achievement. Build a supportive environment that encourages repetition. Surround yourself with reminders, resources and encouragement that make repeating right actions easier. Understand the cumulative power of small repeated actions. Consistent effort compounds into extraordinary results over time. Commit to lifelong learning by continuously adding and refining habits. Repetition is not static, but a dynamic tool for ongoing improvement. Ultimately, repeating the right actions until they become automatic creates a life of discipline, effectiveness and growth. This commitment to consistency transforms dreams into realities and builds character capable of sustaining success. By embedding purposeful actions into your daily routine, you harness the true power of habit and create unstoppable momentum toward your highest potential. Chapter 20. Protect your peace and choose your environment wisely. Protecting your peace and choosing your environment wisely are essential habits that influence every aspect of your well-being and success. Peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but a state of mental clarity, calm, and balance that allows you to focus deeply and act intentionally. Without protecting this inner peace, distractions, negativity, and chaos can invade your mind, draining energy and clouding judgment. Your environment, the physical spaces, social circles, and even the information you consume, shapes your mindset and daily experience. Therefore, being deliberate about your surroundings is a vital practice for sustaining progress and fulfillment. First, recognize that peace is a priority, not a luxury. It is the foundation for clear thinking, creativity, and emotional resilience. When your inner world is calm, you can make better decisions and respond effectively to challenges. Protecting peace requires awareness of what disturbs your balance and the courage to eliminate or minimize those disturbances. This protection is an act of self-respect and self-preservation. Begin by assessing your physical environment. Cluttered, noisy, or chaotic spaces disrupt mental focus and increase stress. Creating an orderly, clean and pleasant environment supports peace and productivity. Simple steps like organizing your workspace, reducing visual distractions, and incorporating elements of nature can significantly improve your mental state. Consider lighting, colors, and comfort as well, since these subtle factors impact mood and energy. Limit exposure to toxic relationships. People who consistently bring negativity, criticism, or drama can severely undermine your peace. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift, inspire, and respect your boundaries. Healthy relationships foster support, motivation, and emotional safety. When necessary, create distance from those who drain your energy, even if it feels difficult. Protecting your peace sometimes means saying no to harmful social dynamics. Guard your time with discipline. Time wasted on unproductive activities or with draining influences reduces your ability to maintain peace. Prioritize activities and interactions that enrich your life and align with your values. Use scheduling and boundaries to create dedicated time for rest, reflection, and focused work. Treat your time as a valuable asset that requires careful management. Be mindful of the information you consume. Constant exposure to negative news, social media drama, or overwhelming data floods the mind with stress and distraction. Curate your media diet intentionally by choosing sources that educate, inspire, or relax you. Set limits on screen time and digital engagement to preserve mental space. Practice setting boundaries firmly and kindly. Communicate your needs clearly to others regarding your time, energy, and emotional availability. Boundaries protect peace by preventing overcommitment and unwanted interference. Maintaining boundaries reinforces your self-worth and creates mutual respect. Develop rituals that cultivate peace daily. Meditation, journaling, mindful breathing, or quiet walks offer intentional pauses to reset and recharge. These practices anchor your mind and body in calmness, making you more resilient to external disturbances. Learn to recognize early signs of stress or agitation. When you notice tension rising, take immediate steps to restore balance. This may include stepping away from a situation, changing your environment, or engaging in calming activities. Proactive management prevents small disruptions from escalating. Create a sanctuary space dedicated to peace. This can be a corner of your home, a favorite outdoor spot, or a mindful retreat. Having a consistent place where you feel safe and relaxed helps recharge your emotional and mental resources. Simplify your commitments. Overloading your schedule and responsibilities invites chaos and anxiety. Focus on fewer but more meaningful pursuits that align with your purpose. Simplification reduces overwhelm and creates space for peace. Embrace solitude regularly. Spending time alone fosters self-connection, clarity, and rejuvenation. Solitude offers freedom from external noise and pressure, allowing your mind to settle and insights to emerge. Practice gratitude as a peace-building habit. Focusing on what you appreciate shifts your mindset away from negativity and scarcity. Gratitude cultivates contentment and reduces inner turmoil. Monitor your physical health as a component of peace. Poor nutrition, lack of exercise, and inadequate sleep contribute to irritability and reduced mental clarity. Prioritize habits that support your body's vitality to maintain balanced emotions. Avoid multitasking and constant busyness. Engaging fully in one task at a time reduces mental clutter and increases satisfaction. Mindful presence promotes calm and effectiveness. Surround yourself with positive affirmations and reminders of your values. Visual cues and inspiring messages reinforce your commitment to peace and focus. Let go of perfectionism and control over things beyond your influence. Accepting uncertainty and imperfection reduces anxiety and mental struggle. Seek environments that stimulate your creativity and motivation. Inspiring settings encourage flow states and joyful engagement in work and life. Balance social interactions with personal time. Engage meaningfully with others, but protect time to recharge individually. Practice forgiveness to release grudges and resentment. Holding on to negative emotions disrupts peace and drains energy. Be selective about new commitments and relationships. Evaluate how they will impact your peace before saying yes. Use nature to restore peace. Spending time outdoors calms the nervous system and renews perspective. Practice deep breathing to anchor yourself during stressful moments. Breath control is an immediate tool to regain calm. Maintain flexibility in your environment. Adapt your space and routines as your needs and goals evolve. Limit noise pollution with earplugs, music, or soundproofing. Quiet enhances concentration and relaxation. Invest in quality sleep environments. Good rest is crucial for emotional regulation and mental clarity. Cultivate patience with yourself and others. Impatience creates inner conflict and disturbs peace. Practice mindful eating. Slow, deliberate meals nurture body and mind, enhancing calm. Recognize that protecting peace is a continuous effort. Stay vigilant to new stresses and maintain proactive habits. Celebrate moments of peace and calm. Acknowledge their value and seek to expand them. Use technology intentionally. Turn off notifications, schedule device-free times, and prioritize face-to-face interaction. Be aware of your inner dialogue. Replace self-criticism with kindness and encouragement. Surround yourself with art, music, or objects that soothe and inspire. Sensory input influences emotional state deeply. Practice compassion toward others to reduce interpersonal tension and foster harmonious relationships. Avoid engaging in gossip or negative conversations that disturb mental peace. Set clear goals that align with your values. Direction reduces anxiety and promotes calm confidence. Use time blocking to dedicate specific periods to focus, rest, and recreation. Recognize when to disengage from unproductive or stressful conversations. Walking away can protect your peace. Seek professional help when necessary to maintain mental health and emotional balance. Develop a support system of trusted individuals who respect your peace and encourage your growth. Practice mindfulness throughout the day to stay grounded and aware. Use journaling to process thoughts and release mental clutter. Trust your intuition about environments and people that serve or harm your peace. Ultimately, protecting your peace and choosing your environment wisely empowers you to live with clarity, strength, and purpose. This conscious stewardship of your inner world and surroundings creates fertile ground for sustained success, happiness, and resilience. By valuing peace as a non-negotiable foundation, you build a life that nurtures your highest potential and allows you to thrive, regardless of external circumstances.